Friday sales event is going on now, with great deals on a wide selection of powerful and dependable Ram trucks. Right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for this Black Friday offer. $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 12/2/24.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
From the Canes to the Panthers to all of the college sports in the Triangle, we cover it all on the Best of the Drive with Tim Donnelly podcast. Brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Variably cloudy skies. We'll see more cloud cover as we get through the day and a small chance of showers, especially south of the Triangle. A high of 72. 59 overnight tonight with a chance of rain, and we'll see some light showers tomorrow. It stays warm with a high of 73.
Weather update brought to you by Necas Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit necasandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 154 points at 43,234. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan on a Tuesday. I'm Tim Donnelly. Graham Hill producing the show as he's been filling in for Dennis the past few days. And I'm looking forward to this next conversation. I'm looking forward to it all day. It's why we're starting the show with it. Canes don't play today. They play tomorrow at Philly. Today is a practice and travel day. Martin Necas, so far this season, his game has traveled, his game has returned, his game has been in every single opportunity to explode. And we touched on this the other day, and it's been rattling around in my brain, so I want to welcome you all in to a little bit of what goes on upstairs for me. Is it too early to start doing the on pace for statistics positively for somebody like Martin Necas? On pace for statistics, I lament them usually because through 10 games, someone's on pace for 2 goals this year. And it's like, all right, but yeah, chances are that's not going to be the case, right? Small sample size. Well, the Canes have played 17, and I touched on this the other day. Through 17 games, Martin Necas is on pace for 144 points. 53 goals, 91 assists. He is on pace for more than 2 times the amount of points he has ever had in a season. 71 is his career high from a couple seasons ago. He is on pace for 144. Now, I should have prefaced this being a little facetious. I don't believe Martin Necas is going to have 144 points. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's not going to stay on a point streak for the rest of eternity, although we'd love to see him continue it for as long as he possibly can. And so much of the story is where he was this offseason, right? It was the very public contract negotiations. It was the arbitration. It was the finally coming to the 2-year deal. It was the comments on some podcast made by his dad. It was the trade rumors. There was so much going on. To then come into the season and be shot out of a cannon as far as production goes from the opening puck drop is a heck of a story. It is a testament to his ability to compartmentalize, because obviously he was getting ready and developing and adding things to his game and playing well with his home country and some international events all off season, while it would have been easy to be distracted. So part of the story is that. The other story is, how far can he take it? The other story is it still feels astonishing when he puts up a multi-point night. Oh my goodness, he did it again. Look at this. He's on fire. You want to appreciate it, but how soon until it's like, damn, that guy, multi-points, yeah. Right? Am I going to be surprised every game? It's starting to feel, this is the way to describe it. It's starting to feel sustainable rather than a hot streak. And again, I want to be clear here. I'm not saying he's never going to have a game without a point. Heck, he might not have a point tomorrow against Philly, but I am saying that he is playing that well. I don't know why. Sorry for the ricochet shot coming your way, Dmitry Orlov. There was a game, I don't know, a week or two ago where Orlov had 2 goals. Both came from impossible angles. Both were if Amazon, the advanced analytics that they give on Thursday Night Football, where they're like, that pass was, had a 1.2% chance to be caught. If they put those stats into NHL games, both of Orlov's shots would have been very unlikely to score, but fortuitous bounce, whatever, he scores 2 goals. That's not sustainable, right? That doesn't turn around and say, all right, Orlov's now a goal scorer. Necas is scoring goals and picking up assists that should be goals and should be assists. Right? The advanced analytics say, like, from this point, he's actually going to make this shot a decent amount. When he sets up a teammate, it's like they don't have to make some kind of superhero circus shot to finish the play, because he's setting them up in a way that their skill level, their ability, they should be able to find the back of the net, and they often do. Now, luckily, I'm not superstitious. Are you superstitious, Graham?
I can be. I'm superstitious when it comes to like teams wearing specific uniforms and stuff.
I don't know. Well, this is a conversation for a different day. I don't know if that's all superstitious. Like, the Ravens wearing the All Blacks, I think look good, feel good, play good if you're more confident, if you feel like you're the baddest guy on the block because of what you're wearing. I think that helps. I don't know if that's all superstition. But I'm not superstitious, so I can talk like this about Necas' streak and not think that if it ends or if he starts playing poorly, it was my fault. I'm okay with that. If you're not, you can throw salt over your shoulder, go break a wishbone, and grab your lucky rabbit's foot. But I'm looking at this as far as hot streaks are one thing. Hot streaks are awesome. Right? You catch fire for a little bit. A player plays well above their ability level, and they enjoy that run. You want to ride that wave as long as you can. That happens. But then there's this other thing that happens, which is a player with an astronomical skill set has the light come on, and now it's not a hot streak. It's a new level of play. Martin Necas is, 25 years old? has been trading on potential for a long time. There's been people saying if he puts it together, when he puts it together, he has the potential to be this, he has the potential to be that, but he hadn't quite gotten it all where he wanted it to be. If this is the light just turned on situation rather than a player playing above their ability for a period of time, then the Canes got exactly what they needed this offseason. Right? I've talked a few times about how coming into this year there was so much more unknown than coming into last year for the Canes. Right? Last year, the only new faces were Michael Bunting and Dmitry Orlov. Michael Bunting was going to play, at best, a supporting role in the forwards. Dmitry Orlov was somebody who was new to the Canes, but we had seen him play for a decade in the NHL. So there was almost no true unknown a season ago. This year, there's a ton. And luckily, it's been mostly pleasant surprises. It's been Shane Gostisbehere coming back to the team and acting like he never left. It's been Roslovic scoring at a rate much higher than anyone anticipated. It's been Jackson Blake, a rookie, not looking like a rookie. It's been Sean Walker, and we can go on and on. William Carrier, and we can go on and on. But there was, and you go back and find it, there were two players that were a part of the known. They were guys that were on the team last year, the year before. Guys that Canes fans were very familiar with, who it felt like there was another level they could reach. And if the Canes were going to take a big step forward, right, at this point we didn't know Roslovic was going to be scoring 9 goals in the first whatever games. We didn't know that some of the new guys were going to play the way they were playing. We looked at the Canes and we said, if they're going to reach another level, 2 guys had the ability for a big step forward. It was Necas and it was Fetch. Necas because of the tantalizing ability, and we had all seen the sprints across the ice where you didn't have to see his number, you didn't have to really pay attention. Out of the corner of your eye, you knew if somebody was moving that fast, it must have been Necas. Like if he could realize, if he could understand what could unlock his ability, that was something that was going to let the Canes level up. And Svetch, similarly, because he has all the physical ability in the world, he has since he was drafted, but it was the first offseason in a while that he wasn't hurt. So you're looking for him to take a step up for finally having a non-rehab and recovery offseason. If Necas if this is just his new level, again, there will be ebbs and flows as far as, a good pass, does it lead to an assist or not? He's not going to be a 144-point guy, or as Dennis would say, unless you're going to do it. He's not going to be a 144-point guy. But if this level of play is the new Necas, that's the kind of thing that can make the Canes not only not take a step back from last year, which I think it's obvious they haven't, but maybe take steps forward that not many were anticipating.
We had head coach Rod Brindamore, myself and Paul Ihander, we had head coach Rod Brindamore Next Up, the morning program, which you can listen to 9 to 10 right here on The Fan. When we spoke to Rod Brindamore prior to the season, we were kind of talking about how with all the changes that happened this offseason, you were going to expect some impact for some players, not just the new guys, but also returning players, such as a Martin Necas. And Rod Brindamore immediately said, yep, there's another one. And it's interesting. He used the analogy, Rod Brindamore is a baseball fan, but he used the analogy of he's the kind of player that hits singles, doubles, finds a way to get on base, but he has the home run skills in him. And he wanted to see him hit some home runs this season, and so far he might be getting ready to play in the home run derby if we're going to stay on this analogy.
He was asking for solo homers. He got 3-run shots and grand salamis. It's 17 games is very close to where I consider it sustainable. I mean, he's on a hot streak for a fourth of a season. It can't be that, right? It's gonna eventually be normal, and I'm looking forward to crossing that threshold whenever we kind of allow ourselves to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Not only do we have Canes hockey tomorrow, but we had NC State basketball last night. They beat Colgate handily. It wasn't the highest scoring affair, which confuses me. We talk about preseason expectations and what State has put on the floor through their first handful of games coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't think we're being fair to the Eagles. Other teams around the league have lost games that they're not supposed to lose. I have a tough time not giving a team credit that was dealing with all of the Sirianni turmoil. The fact that even a week ago we thought, oh, could he be gone if they lost the Jaguars? I'm just going to give them a little bit more credit than you guys are.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports.
FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Make every moment more. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. After 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great, it's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go! It's bow time.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers' appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Skip the Black Friday madness this year with Diamonds Direct. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hi, this is Mike Maniscalco. Do you want to increase the value of your home and decrease the cost of energy bills? If your home needs new windows, siding, doors, and more, look no further than your locally owned Window World, the Triangle's most trusted and America's largest exterior remodeler. A proud sponsor of the Canes, Window World will get your home looking great on the outside while saving on energy costs inside. Search Window World for a free quote today.
Oh no! My phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. Black Friday starts now. Trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Hurry into Verizon this Black Friday. Service plan required for Watch and Tab. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State men's basketball beat Colgate last night, 72-49. State's in an interesting place. And I thought back to a conversation we had preseason to kind of help put it into perspective. Now, contrary to some other teams that we cover here in the Triangle, State hasn't really played a true legitimate test yet. They have 4 games. They have 4 wins: South Carolina, Upstate, Presbyterian, Coastal, and Colgate. And they still have William and Mary before getting to their first real test, which is a game against Purdue, 9 days into the future from here. Now, that's different than, say, what Duke and UNC are doing, where they've both already played top 25 teams and have more on the schedule. So State has the opportunity to work on who they want to be before putting themselves through their first big test. And I saw 72-49 as the final score against Colgate. And my first thought was that's good enough, right? So much of the games against the group of 5 teams, the non-conference kind of cupcakes are, do you dominate enough or should we be worried because it was close? That's enough, right? 72-49, crossed whatever the pass-fail is. My next thought was 72 points? It's not a lot. It's not a problem because he held him to 49, but that's a strange total. And it brought me back to a conversation we had with Casey Morsell right here on this show. Casey Morsell, one of the starting perimeter players, starting guards on last year's NC State team that went all the way to the Final Four, won the ACC tournament. And he brought up something funny. He said that this year's roster, right? We're talking about the new guys, talking about the players that returned. He said this year's roster was more in line with what Kevin Keatts, the head coach, wanted to be, right? In a perfect world, the best version of college basketball that Coach Keatts has in his mind's eye, this year's class, this year's team, more fit into that style, right? Morsell said that Keatts wants to get up and down, wants to run, wants to shoot threes, wants to be a bit more up-tempo. And last year, he had to, over the length of a season, learn that, slowing it down, DJ Burns in the post, not tiring out the big fella, letting the Michael O'Connells and the Casey Morsell control everything more methodically is what ended up being the right way for them to play, and that's when they went on their run. So I've been waiting for that new version. Right, I've been waiting for the Kevin Keatts ideal version of an offense, and when you're playing against group of 5 teams, you should be able to set the tempo. Right? If you want to run against Colgate, you should be able to run. If you want to run against Presbyterian, you should be able to just decide to run. They shouldn't be able to bog you down. Well, guess what? After that 72-49 game, I went, let's see how it's going. Went into the ACC team stat rankings. Right now, State is 9th in points per game. This is in the entire ACC, all of the non-conference games they've played. 12th in field goal attempts per game, meaning the 12th fewest, right? They are the most shots would be number 1. The fewest shots would be number 18. They are 17th in three-point field goals attempt, darn near dead last. 15th in three-point shooting percentage. That's probably why they're not taking many, not making many. 13th in assists per game. So it's even more methodical and even more ISO slash individuals winning their matchups when they do score. They're 16th in rebounds per game, dead last in defensive rebounds per game. They are all about less possessions, not crashing the boards. But here's where it becomes interesting. They're 4th in field goal percentage. Now, if you want to get up and down, if you want to run, if you want to be aggressive, if you want to take quick shots, your field goal percentage might suffer a bit, but by way of having a large rotation, by way of being in shape, by way of putting the other team into a uncomfortable situation, you're going to make it up by them shooting a worse percentage or you simply outlasting them. The fact that they're slow in most rate metrics, they're not getting up and down, but they're shooting a high percentage, means they might be more like last year than we thought. They might not be a work fast and get the first good shot team. They might be a take your time and get an absolutely great shot team. Right? First 10 seconds of the shot clock, you can get maybe a 40% shot, or you can take your time, use most of the shot clock and get a 65% shot, and that might be who they are again. Which, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way, but looking at the roster they've put together, like there is no DJ Burns on this year's team, right? They do look like they want to run, and somebody's going to have to start knocking down outside shots if they want to change the way they've been playing. As I said, their schedule, and they still have William and Mary, does give them this kind of on-ramp to continue to develop and continue to learn before they get tested in a big way. But that Purdue game isn't 100 years into the future. It's 9 days. Kevin Keatts, after their game last night, talked about areas of growth with the media before big-time games, which are coming up on the schedule.
Yeah, I just want us to stay connected. I feel like, it was a process for us last year, and you guys saw what the end result was when a team is connected. You just don't know when they're going to click. And so every day in this modern era of basketball where you're recruiting, it's getting better. You want small wins and see guys getting better, see guys high-fiving each other, see guys having a good time. And that's what the growth is the biggest thing. We got talent, but it's not always the talent of the team that wins. It's the team that comes together in this era. And I just want our guys to continue to grow.
Continuing to grow together. Very coach speak. Like let's call a spade a spade. You can say a lot without saying anything if you really want to. We want them to grow together. We want to come together. Yes, I agree with that. I think it's also about finding out which players are best in which roles, and does the team have players to fill the roles to play the style that the coach wants to play. Again, Kevin Keats in that postgame talked about yesterday being a confidence booster game for one of the incoming transfers, Marcus Hill.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, just to, see Marcus get back to his groove and play his game. And a lot of times when you transfer here, you're always trying to overthink. And we just say, hey, just simplify the game in your mind and just play. And, that was the Marcus Hill that we recruited, the guy that can get to the rack, the guy that can get to the free throw line. And I thought he did a really good job. I thought he got himself going by rebounding the ball. He had two really good, strong offensive rebounds and stickbacks.
Finished with 17 points in just 24 minutes. He wants to get up and run. I want to see if this team can get up and run, and I believe Coach Keats is going to give them every possible opportunity to do that because he gave last year's team every possible opportunity to do that until eventually switching over at the last possible second and kind of going DJ Burns-centric, more ISO ball, more screen games. They're not a fast-playing team through 4 games. I'm surprised by that. Michael O'Connell made some really nice passes. He didn't score a bunch. Ben Middlebrook scored a bunch, which is an interesting role for him as well as the kind of the rebounding and defense guy last year. Still a lot to learn about this team. Colgate isn't going to be enough to really give us the lowdown on what that team is. But maybe Purdue and maybe William & Mary in a couple days will be able to do that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our thesis statement coming up, and I'll tease with this. One entire sport in the state of North Carolina needs a talking to. We give that talking to coming up next.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or a Pro Desk for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
I'm at a smoothie bar, asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
You've seen the postings all over that neighborhood app. People's packages are going missing from their porches this holiday season. But not yours, because you have a home security system from SoundStation and Security. From doorbell cameras to whole home security systems, SoundStation and Security has the largest inventory on the East Coast. And if you're looking for a gift this holiday season but don't really know what to get, we sell gift certificates too. SoundStation and Security, with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Hockey fans, here's a cool offer. BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is giving existing customers another reason to lace up and hit the ice this season. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for BetMGM, and they're adding extra excitement to the goals, the checks, the face-offs, and the breakaways with an NHL Odds Boost token. Take your shot at extra winnings when you bet on NHL action with your favorite sports betting app, BetMGM. All you have to do is log into your existing BetMGM account today to receive your NHL Odds Boost token. Then simply add a hockey wager to your bet slip and activate your token. If your wager lights the lamp, you'll receive extra winnings in unrestricted bonus dollars. Now that is an epic power play. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as withdrawable bonus dollars. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump into the thesis statement, join 99.9 The Fan this Thursday night at the Carolina Ale House in Cary with Victoria from the Adam Gold Show. She'll be there from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a Canes ticket stop where you will, during those 2 hours, 7 to 9 p.m., have the chance to win a pair of tickets every 8 minutes. They'll be giving away a new pair of tickets every 8 minutes from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Cary Carolina Ale House. The tickets will be to the Islanders game on December 17th. So head out to the Cary Carolina Ale House Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Hang out, win big. You must be there to claim your prize. That's the little fine print you need to be aware of. You need to be there to claim your prize. Graham, do we have tickets to give away?
Yes, I believe we do. Let me double check.
So we'll
on this
tease
real
that
quick.
later on. We'll put that in the 4 o'clock hour. I believe we're going to have, just to get you in the mood for giving away tickets, we're going to have some Canes tickets to give away. So be sure to tune in during the 4 o'clock hour for that. Right now, let's jump into the thesis statement. Taking you back to school for this one, giving you a thesis, then defending my thesis in a way that would hopefully earn me a degree. Thesis statement is as follows. College football in the state of North Carolina has been unacceptably bad this year. Unacceptably horrendous. It is unacceptable. It's not that I'm mad, it's that I'm disappointed. And that goes pretty much top to bottom. There are just a small few teams that are doing better than the others, but nobody is living up to what I believe the expectation or the potential should be for teams in this state. This is inspired by the Charlotte 49ers up there, firing their head coach, Biff Poggi. That's a program that feels like a sleeping giant at that level, right? In the group of 5 level. There's no reason why the App States, the Charlottes, the ECUs shouldn't be dominating their individual conferences and their, quite frankly, schedules. And so that drove me down. I went like, all right, if Charlotte's not living up to expectations, let's find who is. And I totaled it up. All of the Division I football teams in the state of North Carolina combined are at 67 and 77. That's their record. 10 games below 500 as a unit. And that's with, right, think about it. That's with the Power 5 teams playing Group of 5 non-conference games. That's with all of the FBS teams playing FCS schedules or FCS opponents once a year. So you get a couple free bingo squares in the win column, and you're still 10 below 500. We could even hone it in a little bit more. You go just to the FBS teams, eliminate all the FCS teams, 35-34. You're one game over 500 despite all those free wins. You go to just the power conference teams. They are 22-18, which would be the four teams in the ACC, right? Duke, State, Carolina, Wake. 22-18. And I went even further. Because then I you know how sports radio does it. You get a little string to pull on, and you want to just keep ripping and ripping and ripping. I went to the conference standings, right? Because I figured, hey, let's judge them amongst their peers, right? Maybe it's not fair to say that their record without saying who they're playing against or who they should be competing against. If we all agree that the goal of every single college sports team and or individual sport athlete is to win your conference, and then anything beyond that, NCAA tournament and on and on and on, but to win your conference is the goal, let's judge them by that. Nobody in the state is better than second in their conference, and that second is NC Central. They're in a conference that totals 6 teams. They have 6 teams in their conference. They're in second. So if we eliminate the conferences that have half a dozen members, the best team is ECU. They're 5th in the American Conference, 5th in the AAC. Guess what else ECU is? A team that fired their coach a handful of weeks ago. So it is completely fair to say the best performing team against expectations in the state of North Carolina is also a team that fired their coach midseason. The best team in the state of North Carolina compared to their conference when it comes to college football felt so bad about their season, they fired their coach. App State, second to last in the East Division of the Sun Belt. Charlotte, 8th in the American. Duke, 7th in the ACC, even though they're playing well. NC State, 14th. UNC, 9th. Wake, 12th. Elon, 8th in the CAA. Campbell, 13th in the CAA. NCA&T, 16th in the CAA. Gardner-Webb, 6th in the Big South. They only have 9 teams in the conference. Here's why I'm so upset about that. Because, by the way, I'm somebody that believes if you're exceeding expectations with what you have at your disposal, that's not embarrassing, right? If you are Cooper Flagg and you're 6'9", and you have all the physical gifts and all of the basketball IQ, and you average 8 points a game, that's a disappointment. If you are somebody whose physical ability says you should be playing D3, but you've worked and grinded your way to being a 8th man in the rotation at the major conference level in college basketball, and you average 8 per game, that's a victory, right? That's a win. So if the football programs in the state of North Carolina, if I believed that they were at some kind of disadvantage, then I wouldn't be as mad that they're underperforming, right? If you play an outdoor sport somewhere in North Dakota, I'm going to acknowledge that it's hard to recruit, and there's probably some kind of a ceiling on your success, right? If you are a sailing team from Nebraska, I'm going to acknowledge it's probably pretty difficult for you to have the same, open sea success. If there was something holding you back, that'd be fine. But I actually think the state of North Carolina has everything you could possibly need to be great at college football. Athletic programs in the state have money. There's some high tuitions. There's some fervent fan bases. They have local talent to recruit. You can't watch a game without seeing somebody from the Charlotte area, from the Triangle area, from Greensboro, from Wilmington that's out there playing for one of the teams that is having success. Tennessee's made a living off of coming into the state of North Carolina the past couple of years and recruiting their tail off. And then college sports matter here. I've lived some places. I've lived a whole bunch of places, moved around a lot as a kid. But I've lived some places where college sports aren't the priority, where college sports are drastic, distant seconds to pro teams. Some, it's just not a sports area. College sports matter here. There's no excuse. People want to be good at every sport when it comes to college. They talk trash about everything. Fan bases care. You ask them for support, they give you support. Maybe not if you keep burning them after they give you that support, but it's unacceptable to have all of that and have not a single team figuring it out, right? Sometimes I think we get in the comparison of just us, and probably because it's like the teams we cover, right? We get into the who's better, Duke, UNC, State, or Wake. Who's better, UNC, State, Duke, Wake. Whatever. I'm trying to say them in different orders so you don't think I'm picking any favorites. And we go like, oh, Duke's having this great year. Duke is 7th in their conference. Duke is 7th in the ACC. They are 3-3 in conference. They are having a great year by Duke standards, but as far as comparing to who I believe you should be competing against, not a great year. And ECU fired their coach. Charlotte's now fired their coach. I never advocate for firing coaches. I think it's weird. When people in the media say, like, that guy needs to go, I think what you should say is, here's what that guy needs to do to improve his team, right? Whatever you think a new coach is going to do, just say that coach should do that. But it does show that there are expectations on these programs, right? The fact that hot seats get hot pretty quickly does show that they understand there's an ability to be very, very good. At a certain point, you just have to demand the expectations. Or the results, not just have high expectations, right? There's something to be said for, hey, we struggled, but we fought to the end. We praised UNC for that. If NC State last year dealt with adversity and finished strong, there's something to be said for that. There's also something to be said for win your conference. Win your conference. Mac Brown, the head coach of UNC, yesterday talking to the media, they have won 3 straight. They are bowl eligible, but they did have that 4-game losing streak earlier in the season. Mac Brown said the team is heading in the right direction.
They know what they have to do to win. They've actually learned. We have not played consistently well enough on defense to not play our best on offense and win a game. And we did that Saturday. There were 2 drives that we gave up on Saturday, the one right after the half and the one at the end of the game. That we've got to correct. Other than that, we played great defense. And Jeff and I had a long discussion this morning about when you're in 1 minute at the end of the game and you got a 14-point lead, just keep playing.
Heading in the right direction is nice, and it's good, and it's grand, and it's better than heading in the wrong direction. Some programs should start demanding, like, arrival at your destination. Can't just keep kicking down the ETA, right? The estimated time of arrival. Well, we're going to be there next year. Oh, the next year. Oh, we're moving in the right direction. Oh, we're getting closer. Oh, we're moving in the right direction. Oh, we're getting closer. At some point you got to arrive. David on Twitter says the problem is too many teams. Imagine if you were like Ohio and you have Ohio State, Cincinnati. Oh, like the state of Ohio. You have Ohio State and Cincinnati. So basically what he's saying is, if you just had like UNC or State and Charlotte, it'd be easier. Maybe. But it's does the state of Florida or California or Texas, I know those are bigger states, but you can find ways, right? There's a lot of good recruits here, and also you can go recruit elsewhere. Tennessee comes and recruits North Carolina. Why can't the North Carolina schools go and recruit Tennessee and tell them, hey, come here because everything I mentioned. We have the money. We have the support. It matters. It'll be a good environment. You can win the conference. I don't know why I'm picking on Tennessee. There's a lot of schools that just don't have the ceiling that I think these schools have. Anything you want to add before we move on here, Graham?
I was just going to say, as far as the blueprint, I mean, that's one of the reasons why Mike Houston, unfortunately, was let go at East Carolina, because you would hear reports that his coaching staff would never come up here in the Triangle to try and recruit high school players. Now, I don't know if that's a matter of maybe he just felt like he couldn't recruit with NC State, North Carolina, but still, it's only an hour and a half up the road. There's plenty of talented high school athletes up here. I don't know why that's not part of your blueprint if you're in Greenville.
It's and I've dealt with this at every single place that I've worked. Other ACC markets, other conference markets. The need for fans to want to build a fence around local athletes and keep them home. And sometimes the reluctance of coaches to even try, for some reason, it doesn't align in so many instances. When I worked in Virginia Beach, similar to some areas in North Carolina, the 757 as they call it, very, very, very talent rich when it comes to recruiting. There were years where the Virginia Tech coaching staff would almost just gloss over it. And I'm going like, Michael Vick is from there. Cam Chancellor is from there. Like some of your best players, D'Angelo Hall, for that program, and they didn't tap into it. You look at schools here in the state, there's no reason why you shouldn't use proximity as a recruiting tool. Still recruit elsewhere, but you should use proximity as a recruiting tool. I'm looking for better next year because this year, in a lot of ways, already a waste. Basketball can cheer me up. Maybe that's the case. We still have that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Matter of fact, let's talk about some of the teams that could maybe cheer me up. Let's talk NC State coming out of a bye. I just railroaded football in the state of North Carolina. And now we have a team coming out of a bye that is all systems go for a bowl game. Team that came into the year, by the way, with at least dark horse college football playoff expectations, ACC championship competition. They were supposed to be a contender for the conference championship expectations. Now they're coming out of a bye with 2 games to play, all in be bowl eligible. They're chasing that, whatever, Pinstripes Bowl, whatever it could be, Birmingham Bowl. Playing well in the next 2 games is exactly why you have Dave Doeren as your head football coach. If Dave Doeren does the things that he and his reputation says he does, the next 2 games will be some of the best football that NC State has played all year. He was talking to the media yesterday. This is Dave Doeren, and he referenced this sense of urgency to become bowl eligible in these last 2 games.
There's definitely that want to continue. These guys practiced really well. I thought our practice last night was one of our better practices that we've had, and weird having a bye back-to-back 2 weeks apart this late in the season, but it was good mentally and physically for the guys, and you can see there's some resolve. There's that NC State grit, I think, that you see in this program that we've always had, and how we finish matters. Now we got to go do it against a team that's peaking a little bit, the way they played against Miami. It was fun to watch. How hard they fought in that football game. They were very physical in that game.
Dave Doeren is not a coordinator head coach. What I mean by that, there's kind of 2 different types of head coaches. One is a coordinator head coach. One is what I call a CEO head coach. Coordinator head coach, still calling plays, still installing the game plan. Whether it's, if they came up a defensive coordinator, they're still the day-to-day operator of the defense. And if you're an offensive coordinator head coach, you are still the one calling the plays into the headset of the quarterback. You're the one making those decisions. The other is CEO head coach. You assign 2 coordinators to run the offense and the defense, and you worry about big picture things. Team buy-in, right? Overall strategy, the future of the program, recruiting, naming maybe a starting quarterback or evaluating the major players. Dave Doeren is not a coordinator head coach, even though he did come up as a pretty impressive defensive assistant, right? Before he got his first shot as a head coach at Northern Illinois, he was the Wisconsin defensive coordinator during some very, very good Wisconsin years. Even knowing that, Tony Gibson runs the defense. When Doeren was a coordinator, he ran a 4-3. That is a style of front, right? An alignment assignment of the defense. Tony Gibson and NC State run a 3-3-5. That is a unique defense. I actually think if I were a head coach and I came up running a 4-3, I would try to find a coordinator that ran a 4-3, just so there wouldn't be that delineation, obviously, of like, oh, we're doing what he wants to do, not what I do. But that's neither here nor there. Tony Gibson's very, very good. He's running the defense. He's running that unique 3-3-5. I think that puts a level of separation between Dave Doeren and calling the shots on defense. Obviously, the longtime defensive-minded coach, not going to be calling plays on the offensive side of the ball, right? He's not there drawing up pass protections and things. Even if he's knowledgeable enough to help in all those areas, he is a CEO head coach. When you are a CEO head coach, there's two things you have to do. One is hire great assistants, right? If you're going to turn over that much responsibility to your coordinators and position coaches, you better be a great hirer. Two is keep the team focused, motivated, read the room, know what's going on with your team, and make those high-level decisions accurately and quickly. Be decisive. Dave Doran is the blue-collar guy, right? He is the NC State guy that they love because he's one of them, and he'll have his bourbon, and he'll talk his trash, and he'll smoke his cigars, and he'll show up to work every day. If that is why he is the head coach, that shows up this week versus Georgia Tech. If that is why he's the head coach, it shows up the week after against UNC. And it shows up in a big way. It shows up with a willingness to fight. It shows up with a willingness to leave every ounce of energy you have out there on the field, even though you know the hopes and goals and dreams that you set at the beginning of the year are already unattainable. That's not easy. To know that I told all my friends we were going to win an ACC championship this year, and we're not even close. Yet I will still empty the gas tank as much as I possibly can as Georgia Tech tries to bully us, because that's what they do. And we're going to bully them right. We're going to bully the bully. Dave Doran, again, spoke to the media yesterday. He talked about having pride in becoming bowl eligible.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this sport's all about, man. And the last thing you ever want to do is settle, I mean, the fact that we're 5-5, yeah, it's disappointing for sure. But I care a lot about how we finish and how you face up to the tests that you have. And so this one right here is going to be a physical test. Like, I have a ton of respect for Georgia Tech and how they play the game. And so I'm looking forward to the competition, looking forward to facing their coaches, looking forward to our players facing their players and doing it on the road in a hostile environment. It's a great opportunity to stand up and fight.
There's a saying in sports, after you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs or from achieving your goals, called playing for pride. Another way to put it is when you start talking about playing for pride is when you've stopped talking about playing for stakes. When there's less on the line is when you have to start talking about personal pride. And that's where it becomes – I mean, like if you're Miami right now, if you're Mario Cristobal, the head coach of Miami, I mean, your motivation is easy. If we lose a game, we don't go to the college football playoff. If you want to achieve the biggest dreams of every college football player in the world and have a chance at a national championship, you're going to have to win this game this week. Get to sleep. Do your rest. Get in the film room. Work hard at practice. Take care of your body. Right? There shouldn't be anything else. If you're not one of the 20 teams that realistically has a chance at making the college football playoff, 25, however many you think it is, that's where the coach matters. Is it time to bail or is it time to dig in? I'm looking at you, Dave Doran. Duke's also coming out of a bye. They appear bought in. Let's look at them for a little bit. To me, Duke, they're looking to make a statement. Right? A little different because it's a coach in his first year. So you're talking about groundwork. You're talking about laying the foundation. The motivation is this group is going to be the first of the Manny Diaz era, and everything that comes after it you are responsible for. Even if you're a senior and you're going to exhaust your eligibility, if we win the ACC 3 years from now, that's on you for the foundation you laid this year. This is I keep saying we need to put a dictionary together of all the phrases and sayings that I use because I don't want to have to keep explaining them. But this is what I call the Jalen Randolph rule. Jalen Randolph, when I played football at the University of Delaware, my senior year, the quarterbacks and running backs' lockers were right next to each other. And so, right, seniors get to pick where your locker is. I picked my locker all the way against the running backs, and then I asked that there be a freshman running back right next to me. And he ended up redshirting. So my senior year, he was a redshirt freshman, didn't play. But I tried to pass along everything I knew about college football because I wanted a running back that would then think like a quarterback. So I was – and also little things, keep your locker clean, all that kind of nonsense. But I tried to pass on everything I knew to him. And then 3-4 years later, right, I've been on radio now 3-4 years. He's still playing because he had 4 years of eligibility after that. And he was a good player. So I felt like, hey, that's kind of me, right? Part of that, I'll take 1% of 1% of getting him ready to have score that touchdown, make that big play. What Duke does coming out of this bye against Virginia Tech and Wake Forest is laying the foundation that these guys will be able to believe I had something to do with that, right? If there's a freshman out there making a play, I had something to do with that. So it's different because it is the coach in that first segment. The other thing is, I think you could argue in conference play and maybe even in the entire schedule, Duke has won every game that they should win, and they've lost every game that they should lose. In conference, they've beaten UNC, NC State, and Florida State. They've lost to Miami, SMU, and Georgia Tech. If you look at the ACC standings right now, Duke is 7th. Those 3 teams I mentioned that they beat, 9th, 14th, 17th. Those 3 teams they lost to, 1st, 3rd, and 6th. Literally, everyone they've faced in the CAA above them in the standings they've lost to. Everyone they've faced in – did I say CAA? I meant ACC. Everyone they've faced in the ACC below them in the standings, they've beaten. Virginia Tech and Wake Forest remain on the schedule. They're 11th and 12th. So Duke is above both of them in the standings. They're not going to have a chance to pull a big upset. They're not going to have a chance to shock the world. They can't knock off Miami or SMU. They already lost to them. But they can make the statement that you're not going to be a team that lays clunkers, right? You're not going to be a team that's ever the get-right game. Like, you're going to have to be a really good team to have a chance against them. The next step, probably for next year under Manny Diaz, would be going big game hunting, going trophy hunting, trying to get a couple those big deer heads on your wall of like top 10 teams, top 20 teams that you beat. But for now, win the games you're supposed to win, make a statement going into the bowl season and then the off season about Duke football. 2 very different places for State and Duke coming out of the bye, when one's bowl eligible and one's not. When one has a coach that's been there for over a decade and one's had a coach that's been there for 10 games. 2 very different places, very different statements, both coming out of bye weeks. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Tim, real quick.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
but
go ahead.
Before you do your Miller Linden read, I did get the green light then. In the spirit of the ticket stop this upcoming Friday, right now we are going to give away a pair of tickets to the Carolina Hurricanes versus New York Islanders game on December 17th. So for anybody listening that wants to attend the game, be caller 9 while Tim does the read. I'll be tracking numbers. Be caller 9-919-860-5326. Again, 919-860-5326. Be caller 9 right now to win a pair of tickets to the Carolina Hurricanes New York Islanders game on December 19th.
December 17th.
December 17th, excuse me. And we'll also give away a pair of tickets in the following hour as well.
Look at that. We're making dreams come true. If you want to see the Canes and Islanders December 17th, call in right now, 919-860-5326. Caller number 9 gets the tickets. You did hear Graham tease it. It's time for me to talk about Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, the home of the no-cost loan. Gordon's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987. Here's the thing. If rates have dropped, I feel like I need to remind this more often because I'm always talking about the comfort that comes with a no closing cost loan. I should point out, if you locked in a rate that you felt was astronomical when the market was at its highest, call up Miller Lending, please. They can hook you up with a no closing cost loan that might lower your monthly payment at literal no cost to you, right? No cost means no cost. Zero means zero. They're not going to bring you in and say you can get your monthly payment down to this number, which is $500 less, but we need $4,000 up front right now. It's not that. No closing cost means no closing costs. Do not pay those costs and fees 2, 3, 4 times if rates drop and if they continue to drop over the next few years. Call Miller Lending. No cost to you. Just get that monthly payment lowered if you locked in one of those astronomical rates. And if you did, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The number to call is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. Again, keep calling for those free tickets to see the Canes in honor of our ticket stop this Thursday night. If you call in right now, 919-860-5326, you can win a pair of tickets to see Canes Islanders December 17th. Caller number 9 is the winner. When we come back, football at 4, a stud hopefully, for the Panthers is making his debut this weekend. Those expectations coming up.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Jordan Moore delivers, and the Blue Devils have the lead.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford and by Amedios.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Experts say that heating costs are increasing up to 23% this winter. And if your windows aren't from Window Nation, your money is literally going out the window. They have some of the best insulated windows so your heat stays inside. And right now, get these amazing windows at 50% off. Plus, you could save even more money with 0% interest for 5 years. Hurry, sale ends November 30th. Schedule your fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Looking at a high 72 this afternoon, but a bit more cloud cover than we saw yesterday and a chance of showers, especially south of the Triangle. 59 overnight tonight with some light rain and some scattered rain tomorrow with a high of 73. After that, turning cold and windy Thursday into the weekend.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 120 points at 43,268.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Music cut out on me there. Pulling the rug out from under me here on a Tuesday. I know what that is. Graham's been on the show now this is his 4th consecutive day with Dennis out of the office, and he's getting tired of me. He's just going to start booby-trapping everything.
That's not what it is.
Turning into Kevin from Home Alone. Football at 4, presented by Wake Med, presenting all of our NFL action. Football at 4. Jonathan Brooks is making his debut this weekend. That's great. That's grand. I'm excited for the debut of the second-round pick of the Carolina Panthers, a running back, the first running back drafted in the most recent NFL draft out of Texas. Makes the Carolina running back room very complicated. If this were a Facebook relationship status, it would be, it's complicated. Not to say it's not also exciting, but it's complicated. Jonathan Brooks spoke to the media yesterday ahead of his debut, and he talked about how excited he was. We'll play that audio for you in a second, and he should be. Here's what it sounded like yesterday.
I'm excited just to be able to get back on the field and play the game that I love. It just, it's truly a blessing just to be able to get back out there and be 100% and be able to go out there and play football again.
Here's why it's complicated in addition to, and maybe confusing, in addition to exciting. Chuba Hubbard just signed a contract that locks him up for the next couple of years, handful of years, right? 4 years, $33 million extension. What is it, $15 million guaranteed, 12 roughly guaranteed at signing. If he hadn't just done that, I'd say the goals of the running back room this year were obvious. Do whatever Jonathan Brooks needs to be a star next season. If he needs 10 carries a game, you give him 10 carries a game. If he needs 1 carry a game and just to make sure he trusts his knee, you do like big, little, lots of plays, little plays, catching out of the backfield, pass protection, whatever it is, the entire focus would be on Jonathan Brooks being a star next season. But as soon as Chuba Hubbard signed that contract extension, now it's more complicated. It's not just about Jonathan Brooks. It's about Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard and the future of them sharing the backfield. It's about making sure Chuba stays in rhythm regardless of what Jonathan Brooks does. It's about doing whatever it takes Jonathan Brooks needs to be a star next season. It's about making sure the play calling doesn't become a tell based on who's on the field. It can't be every time Jonathan Brooks goes out there we pass, every time Chuba Hubbard goes out there we run, because that's their skill set. You have to be able to camouflage that and have enough change-ups. It has to be about finding out how to make them work together, right? If one is a better pass catcher, how do you use the other to tire out a defense to open up the pass game? And it's about building personal chemistry between the two. Jonathan Brooks is looking to make his mark on the league. Chuba Hubbard, there was a video that the Panthers put out. It's like, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. They're actually, unbeknownst to us, they took clips from this show and used it in the announcement. So I encourage you to check it out. But it was announcing the Chuba Hubbard contract. Just a little minute, 2 minute, whatever it was, brief announcement of his big contract signed. And they also used a clip of him mic'd up. And he's on the sideline, and he's talking to somebody else, but he's really talking to himself. Nobody believed in me. Nobody believed in me. Right? I'm going to prove them all wrong. It's like a little self-pump-up speech. Well, guess what? Guy like that's trying to prove everybody wrong, probably isn't stoked about giving up a bunch of carries. Right? Probably isn't jacked up about, I just became a workhorse running back in the NFL, and now this guy might come in and take 10, 15, 20 touches from me. I get the desire, right? And I've said this before. Everybody wants Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They want Gibbs and Monty. What do they call them up there? Sonic and Knuckles, the two running backs for the Lions. Do you know how carefully the Lions cultivate that relationship between these two? The Lions have been in a lot of blowout games, right? Just recently, what did they do this week? Was it 150-6 against the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Something like that.
They've had a lot of blowouts, which means they've gotten to really be specific with who's getting the ball when, right? When you're up 30, you're more inclined to be like, hey, did so-and-so get their touches? Let's make sure we get it. Rather than when you're up 3, then you're just making the best play call possible. Well, guess what? This season, Jahmyr Gibbs for the Lions has 156 touches. Carries plus catches. He has 156 touches. David Montgomery, 158. We're double-digit games into the season. They are within 2 touches of each other. Gibbs, 9 touchdowns scored, 8 rushing, 1 receiving. Montgomery, 10 touchdowns scored. That is important in building that relationship to make it feel equal and fair so nobody feels like they're being disrespected or not being given their opportunity. Again, if you want Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks, who makes his debut this year, or this weekend, against the Chiefs, to mimic and or walk in the footsteps of other very successful backfields that people in Carolina are familiar with, it's not just Gibbs and Montgomery and Detroit. What about D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart? Dan Morgan played with those guys, right? He's trying to rebuild his glory days. If he brings in Chuba Hubbard or retains Chuba Hubbard and now brings in Jonathan Brooks with the idea that they're going to be a modern-day D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, I went and looked it up. Now, actually, season to season, it wasn't always even. Both guys dealt with some injuries, right? So the overall stats, individual seasons, the opportunities weren't as obvious as Gibbs and Montgomery this year. But in their careers in Carolina, this is almost eerie to believe. D'Angelo Williams played 9 seasons with the Panthers. Jonathan Stewart played 10. Williams finished with 8,467 total yards. Stewart finished with 8,613 total yards. They were both with the team about a decade. They finished within 150 total yards of each other. Williams, 53 total touchdowns. Stewart, 58 total touchdowns. A decade. Every little, did they cross the line? Did they not? Every little, was it a long touchdown? Was it a 1-yard touchdown? Did they get goal line carries? Were they catching them out of the backfield? They came within 5 after a decade of each other. Jonathan Williams had 1 more year, so he had slightly higher stats. It's unbelievably equal. Do you know how many receiving touchdowns they had? I would say neither D'Angelo Williams nor Jonathan Stewart were, the most prolific pass catchers in the world. Stewart had his years. They both finished with exactly 7 receiving touchdowns. That is important. You have to cultivate those relationships so everybody is happy, and that starts this weekend for the Panthers. Well, this year it doesn't really have to be even, right? Because the situations aren't the same with the injury, right? If Jonathan Brooks doesn't have as many touches as Chuba, doesn't have as much success, you just say, we're easing you in. Next year's where. But you want them to be friends. You want them to be buddies. You want, when one has success, to have the other be the loudest person on the sideline, because that's the only way it works. You want them to have a handshake, which sounds goofy. I'm 100% serious. When Chuba Hubbard scores, if Jonathan Brooks had, a 20-yard catch and a 17-yard run on that drive, and then Chuba Hubbard goes in and scores the touchdown, they better get together and do like the Parent Trap handshake. They better get together and make it very obvious that they're both happy. I've been in huddles where it's not that way. We had, and this is no disrespect to anybody, I'm not even going to say what coach it was. We had an All-American running back, okay? I think he finished second all-time in the University of Delaware history in rushing yards. Really good dude, made my job significantly easier. We had some backup running backs that were extremely talented. And there was one game where one of the backup running backs had a very good drive, and he, first down, got down to the 1-yard line on a long run. And then the coaches took him out, and our All-American went in and scored. And that backup running back, to put it lightly, felt it should have been his touchdown. Felt he had earned it, felt he should have been given the chance, and wasn't. And this is he said, she said. The backup running back told me. He went to one of the coaches, won't say who, and said, what the heck? Why wasn't that mine? I did all the work. I was the workhorse on that drive. And their response was, the people show up to see number 30 score. That was our All-American. And that did not go over well. There was extremely little excitement for the other player to score, even though it's a team sport and we got the 7 points regardless. And I'll just put it this way. The year before that, we were in the national championship game. That year, we missed the playoffs. Different vibes. Now that Jonathan Brooks is back and every carry he gets is one Chuba Hubbard doesn't, it's on the Panthers to make sure everybody's happy. And you may say, they're pros, they should be happy no matter what. I agree with you. It's just not always the case. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our ladder challenge to get to, in which case I'm not going to be full SVP, Scott Van Pelt here, but all-time bad beat last night. All-time bad beat in our ladder challenge last night. I'll explain coming up next.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down, folks. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. Listen up, homeowners. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. Talking no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as a day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody's bent out of shape about Cooper Flagg turning the ball over twice at the end of the game. He had 26 points, 12 rebounds, and was the best player on the court. Yeah, he turned it over. Kentucky played really well at the end of the game and also at the beginning of the second half. That was the difference. Otherwise, if Duke makes 30% of their threes, they win that game by 10 points. I was impressed by the Blue Devils. I think they're going to get better and better all year.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
'Tis the season for family and friends. 'Tis the season for gifting. And 'tis the season for making holiday dreams come true. 'Tis the season for using the old-timey contraction 'tis. And 'tis the time of year for holiday scratch-offs. With over $85 million in total prizes, 'tis the best gift of all.
'Tis the season to gift endless joy with holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.06 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes for your half-calf heavy cream mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
Get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days with a sporty new Civic, Accord, HR-V, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 Honda Accord or CR-V, a 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic, and a 3.9% APR on a 2025 HR-V.
Brought to you by your local Carolina Honda dealers. Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This Thursday, join 99.9 The Fan at the Cary Carolina Ale House. Victoria, who you hear every day on the Adam Gold Show, immediately before this show, every weekday. Victoria will be at the Cary Carolina Ale House from 7 to 9 p.m. for a Canes ticket stop, where you can win a pair of tickets every 8 minutes to see the Canes host the Islanders on December 17th. They'll be giving away a new pair of tickets every 8 minutes from 7 to 9. Cary Carolina Ale House. So head on out there, hang out, and win big. You must be there to claim your prize, so plan on staying if you're going to drop out and say hi. We will be giving away a pair of tickets to that very same game before this segment is over. So keep it tuned right here. You might be able to win one right now, but you have to wait till I tell you to call in. And we'll have 3 pair of tickets tomorrow. So we've got Canes tickets. We're hooking you up a whole bunch of different ways. Right now, though, it's time for the ladder challenge. And I have to say, for the first time in ladder challenge history, the producer and I, completely independent of each other, picked the exact same bet. It was both a fairly likely to hit bet. It was C.J. Stroud to throw 1 or more touchdown passes last night on Monday Night Football. And I know everyone has like the story of the giant fish that you had hooked up but wriggled free, or the poker beat where you had quads and they came with the royal flush. Whatever it is, like, everybody has a story. I got to give you mine. We had an all-time bad beat last night. C.J. Stroud, 1+ touchdown. Now, the reason why both of us, again, independently of each other, brought our picks to the show, and our reasoning was mostly centered around the fact that Nico Collins was back. I read a whole bunch of stats. Going back to week 2 of last season, only 1 time has Nico Collins played in a game, and C.J. Stroud didn't throw a touchdown pass. And in every game this year that Nico Collins played, C.J. Stroud threw a touchdown pass. And Nico Collins probably could have played last week, but didn't. They held him out to make sure his hamstring was 100%. So he shows up in this one 100%. And on the very first play, barely settled down, right? You sit on the couch, you turn the game on, maybe you watch some pregame. The very first play, 77-yard touchdown pass from C.J. Stroud to Nico Collins. I'm like, boom, we're geniuses, nailed it. 77 yards first play, but wait, there's a flag on the play. It's coming back, illegal man downfield. But still, you feel pretty good about it. You're like, look, 77-yard touchdown. Obviously, Nico Collins feeling good.
So obviously they're going to pass in this game.
Number 1 wide receiver looks fully healthy. They know how to scheme up this defense. It was a great play call. They'll definitely score again. Oh, you'd be mistaken. They scored a bunch. They scored 35 points. How were none of them through the air? Scored a defensive touchdown. Joe Mixon scored 3 touchdowns on the ground. Very confusing night. Very bad beat. Both Graham and I lost.
This is why you don't ride bets, folks.
Well, this is why we should have known that if we were both on the exact same thing, we were missing something. But it's like, in all seriousness, it was an astronomically bad bet for the gambling world, or bad beat for the gambling world. Nico Collins over/under in receiving yards, depending on where you got it, which sportsbook, was between 72.5 and 75.5 yards. So the very first play would have been a 77-yard touchdown. You would have gotten anytime touchdown scorer bets. You would have gotten passing touchdown bets. You would have gotten first touchdown scorer bets. You would have gotten hitting the over in receiving yards. All of that one play in, called back. He does not score a touchdown. Obviously does not score the first touchdown. No more passing touchdowns. And he didn't get back to the 70-plus receiving yards. So Nico Collins, all those bets that would have been hits, ended up being misses.
Yeah, before you could text your boss telling her that you weren't going to come in tomorrow and you might not be coming back again. Yeah, flag on the play.
Brutal. So I'm starting over. Graham, you're starting over.
Well, this is my last day on. So maybe it worked out.
Yeah, except I messed up. So now we have the regular competition between Dennis and I. Did Dennis hit?
Yes, he did.
Dennis hit. So he's got to be up to like $35.
Yeah, he won yesterday with Nathan McKinnon having 2 or more shots on goal, which puts him at $34. Tonight, he's going to go back with Kucherov, who he placed a bet on last week, to have 2 or more shots on goal against the Pittsburgh Penguins at -600. That would put him at $39.60 if it hits.
$39.60. So just so everybody knows, when we start each month with $10, and it's really just tracking units, right? We're tracking how $10, you call it 10 units, calling it 1 unit, whatever you want. Dennis now is up to, what is it, 39? If he hits?
If he hits, yes, 39.
So he'll have almost 4 times his money just by winning likely to hit bets over and over and over again. If he can keep that rolling all the way through to the end of the month, he'll definitely be the winner, because the winner between he and I is who has the most money at the end of the month. My bet is I'm going also back to a honey hole that I've had success with in the past. Jason Tatum to put up 35-plus points, plus rebounds, plus assists. It is a minus 550 bet, so having lost, I'm starting back at $10 to win 1181. So to get really to win a $1.81. They play the Cavs tonight. Cavs are 15-0. They're the last undefeated team. Jason Tatum is ripping through anybody that is kind of the league is hyping, I guess you could say. He's on a revenge path. He won the NBA championship last year with the Celtics, then went to the Olympics and had a bunch of did not plays, coaches' decisions. So he's on his like chip on the shoulder, I'm angry style deal. He's not going to let the Cavs go to 16-0 and be the toast of the league and have everybody talking about them without putting up a fight. So I think he's going to have a big game. He averages 29.4 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 6.2 assists, which is essentially 44 total. I only need him to get 35 total. So I think Jason Tatum, because of his pettiness, his grudge holderness, and his unbelievable basketball ability, gets to 35-plus points, plus rebounds, plus assists. Need it. Need to get back in the win column. That's the ladder challenge. We'll track it. We'll have bets tomorrow again, as always. Right now, though, it's time for Copper Drop.
Oh, I need to get the music set up. Let me kill the bed for the ladder challenge, and then
getting a peek behind the curtain at what Graham's doing back there. Go ahead. All right, the way this works, sometimes Dennis, sometimes Graham. Today it'll be Graham. Sets up everything they possibly can think of. Guesses, predictions, ideas. And I tell them whether I am copying or dropping, buying or selling, in or out. You know how it goes. Graham, take it away.
All right, let's first go to the rig, where we're going to start with the Carolina Hurricanes. Martin Necas, 17 games, 11 goals, 19 assists, 30 points so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, Copper Drop. Martin Necas is on pace to have the best season he's ever had as a Carolina Hurricane.
Well, he's darn sure. I'm copying. He's on pace for it for sure. The crazy part is he's actually on pace to score more than twice as many points as he's ever totaled. His career best is 71 total points. If you extrapolate his points out, first 17 game pace out to the rest of the season, it's 144. I don't think he's going to, I said this earlier. At some point, he's going to have some bad puck luck. Even if he keeps playing as well as he's playing, at some point, goalies will stand on their head, or one of his teammates won't finish a pass that they should, or whatever it is. He's going to have that because it's a long season. But he could come off the pace he's on now by a bunch and still have the best season that he's had as an NHL player. So I'm expecting, at this point, I don't even think it's like a bold prediction. I'm expecting Martin Necas to have the best production of his career. The question becomes, how far does he put his old personal best in the rearview mirror? If your personal best on the golf course is like 80, and on the front nine you shoot a 32, you're probably not aiming for 79, right? You're probably aiming for something great. So same with Martin Necas. If your personal best is 71 points and you have 30 through the first 17 games, you're probably not hoping for 72, right? You're flirting with 80, 90, maybe letting your imagination run wild. So yes, I expect this to be Martin Necas' best season as an NHL player.
Speaking of the Canes, don't forget, folks, not now. Bottom of the second. Of this segment, excuse me.
Bottom of the second? We're doing baseball play-by-play? No balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the second.
Pair of tickets to see the Canes and Islanders on December 17th in honor of our Canes ticket stop coming up at the Carolina Ale House this Thursday with Victoria. Bottom of this segment, not second.
Bottom of the second, 2 outs, nobody on.
919-860-5326. Be on the listen. Speaking of teams that also play in red, black, and white and also have a score, Ben Middlebrooks led all 19 scores with 19 points for NC State's basketball's 79-49 win over Colgate last night. Tim, Copper drop. Ben Middlebrook is the team's go-to scorer this season.
Oh, I'm dropping that. Ben Middlebrooks, more so than most guys of his kind of skill set, can get hot. He can give you a 20-point night. He can also give you a 4-point night, which is kind of nice to have as long as he has some say over it. It's not just like, hey, I wake up in the morning and if I'm feeling it, I'm scoring. As long as he can kind of sense the moment and go, all right, they need me to score more today, I'll focus on it. I think it's a huge asset for State to have. But you can look at something as simple as, I think he went 10 for 10 from the free throw line, maybe 9 for 9 from the free throw line. I think he's a 75% free throw shooter, right? You wouldn't expect him to do that very often. Also, he played 15 minutes, 19 points in 15 minutes. I don't expect, like, R.J. Davis at UNC, who's one of the leading scorers in the conference, one of the leading scorers in the country, to be able to just score, 19 and 16 minutes consistently. So I think it's nice to have. I don't think he's their leading scorer. If I had to guess who their leading scorer is, it would be Jaden Taylor, Marcus Hill, maybe somebody like Dontrez Styles, Huntley Hatfield, the transfer from Louisville. There's some other guys who I would expect to, if their role is scorer, to score a bit more than somebody like Ben Middlebrooks. Not to take anything away from Ben Middlebrooks. I'm a big Ben Middlebrooks fan. He is a worker. He finds a way to impact the game in multiple ways. Some of those other guys might need to score in order to have like a positive impact on the game. Middlebrooks could score 4 points, have 10 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks, and affect a bunch of shots down low. He can impact the game in a bunch of different ways. So I think he'll get in where he fits in.
One last thing, it concerned me last night because I want Jaden Taylor to be one of these go-to scoring guys, but the State just played totally different when he wasn't directing traffic on the floor. At the beginning of the game, they were kind of struggling a little bit with Colgate.
Jaden Taylor and Michael O'Connell are an interesting pair. They're two of the best perimeter players they have. Two, really, along with Middlebrooks, the 3 main contributors to last year's Cinderella run. But also, Jaden Taylor is a scorer. Michael O'Connell is a setup guy. I don't know if they want to try to, broaden their impact on the game, because if they do, there's going to be some growing pains with that. So we'll be paying attention to it. Marcus Hill had 17 points. You brought up Ben Middlebrooks with 19. They won by, 20-something points. It was a big enough win for NC State to not raise any huge red flags.
UNC, following their 31-24 win against Wake Forest, find themselves on a 3-game win streak, bowl eligible, 6-4 overall, 3-3 in the ACC with 2 games remaining. Copper drop. This is Mack Brown's best season as a head coach since returning to Chapel Hill.
Best is, that's like saying who's the MVP, and then we have to get into debating like, well, okay, what does valuable mean? Right? Like Patrick Mahomes, I think Andy Reid could have success without him in there, but he's the best. Is that most valuable? What is the best of Mack Brown 2.0 is what you're getting at? I think it's his. Because I don't want to say it's easy. Easy is the wrong way to put it, but I'm going to say easy because I can't think of a better word in the moment right now. It is easy to win when you have Sam Howell and Drake May. Right? These are NFL quarterbacks, top recruits. They came in polished. They were very, very good players. Again, easy isn't the right thing to say there, but I don't know what else to say.
When nothing else was working, like you would see Sam Howell and Drake just be like, all right, I'll do it myself, and just run down the field and bulldoze somebody to get into the end zone.
Exactly. So it wasn't this year they've played 3 different quarterbacks. This year they've had that 4-game losing streak. And by the way, this isn't something that you trivialize and just add it to a resume, but it is something that is difficult to overcome. Tylee Kraft, one of their players, passed away in the middle of the season, a teammate of many of these players. That's an added challenge to a coach to support everybody away from the field, make sure everybody's getting the help they need, while also making sure they're locked in on game day. So I'll say, I say it's his best coaching job. This is far from the best team that UNC has had under Mack Brown since they've been back. But I'll say it's his best coaching job, keeping them all kind of in line, pushing together, united, and playing.
There's my mic. NC State football is getting ready to take on Georgia Tech this Thursday, coming off their upset victory 2 weeks ago. The Yellow Jackets, not State. That'd be monumental. Anyways, Copper Drop, you're now starting to feel the sense of urgency for NC State to make a bowl game this season.
Oh, yes. Actually, you know what? How did you say that? They're starting to feel the urgency?
There's a sense of urgency for NC State to make a bowl game this season.
Yes. If you said starting to, I was going to drop it because it's not starting. It's been going for a while. But yes, there is absolutely a sense of urgency to be bowl eligible. I've talked about this. Bowl games don't matter nearly as much as they used to. Bowl eligibility still matters a ton. So the funny part is you see teams like State, you see teams like UNC starting a couple weeks ago have to go all out, lay it all on the line to be bowl eligible, and feels like such an accomplishment. Yes, we made it. We're going to be bowl eligible. And then a bunch of guys are going to opt out of the bowl game. It's like you worked that hard to make a bowl only to opt out, and it's like, well, yeah, because the bowl eligibility was the thing that mattered. We don't actually care if we win the Pop-Tarts Bowl or whatever bowl you end up going to. What matters is our program is seen as one that was above the Mendoza line, right? Was above the line that deciphered the good from the bad. So Georgia Tech right now became bowl eligible with a win against Miami in their last game 2 weeks ago. That's a heck of a win. To feel that jubilation, A, you'd have to play Miami, but B, you have to get that 6th win of the year. So State has an opportunity here. Let's call a spade a spade. The UNC game at the end of the year is rivalry game, could go either way. But also you kind of catch Georgia Tech at a good spot. They played number 4 in the country, Miami, last game. They play, as they end every season, Georgia at the end of the year. They're, number 12 in the country? So right in the middle there is NC State, trap game, right? Looking at their big upset opportunities, you might be able to catch them. So, yes, there's absolutely urgency to be bowl eligible.
Staying in the Triangle, Duke football also returns to action this weekend, coming off a bye week as they host Virginia Tech at home on senior night. Copper Drop, Duke football wins out the remainder of the season. Interesting.
So Virginia Tech, I think they win, and then they have Wake Forest on the road. Yeah, I'm going to say they win out. I think they're the better team in 2 of those matchups. You know, I don't know. Maybe the odds would say they drop one, but they're favored in both. I think they're the better team in both, so I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I'm just simply going to say yes, they win both. Here's partially why I say that. Duke feels different. Mike Elko's squad felt different. And when I say felt different might be a very vague way to say that. The Mike Elko squad felt like everybody was auditioning. Mike Elko was auditioning, right? Obviously, Texas A&M liked what he put on his audition piece. Riley Leonard was auditioning. This year, it does seem like what I was talking about earlier. It's much more we are building something for the future, and each game matters a little bit towards adding another brick to the wall and getting a little bit better and getting a little bit more respect. I believe Malik Murphy is going to be back next year, right? I believe the players with eligibility are going to be back next year. Last year, by this point, seemed like Riley Leonard was already out the door. Seemed like Mike Elko was already out the door. So a little different. Yeah, I think they're gonna keep it pedal to the floor all the way to the end. I think they win both games.
Fair enough. You mentioned this at the top of the hour. Rookie running back Jonathan Brooks prepares to make his debut this Sunday for the Panthers. Copper Drop, the Panthers offense will be run heavy this weekend to limit Patrick Mahomes' time on the field.
Well, I'm copping it's going to be run heavy. I don't know if they have a choice to I don't know if they need a reason. Right? Oh, they're going to run the ball often to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Well, guess what? If they were being quarterbacked by Ryan Leaf, I'm trying to pick a quarterback with that wouldn't be insulting to say isn't very good. If they were quarterbacked by a bad quarterback, I still think the Panthers would be run heavy. The past 2 games that they've won against bad teams, by the way, right? They beat the Saints, and then they beat the Giants in Germany. The past 2 games that they've won, it's not like Bryce Young has thrown for 300 yards, right? I don't know if he threw for 300 yards combined. they are a team that starts with the run, and then they ask Bryce Young, this new confident version of Bryce Young, to make a couple of throws right on perhaps a game-winning drive or maybe on a third down, just some handful of throws that if he completes them, the running game can then take back over and win the game for him. So, yes, playing the Chiefs, you absolutely want to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. But I'll say this. Chiefs offense hasn't been any kind of a juggernaut this year. The defense has been much, much stronger for Kansas City than the offense has been. So, yeah, I think they'll be run heavy. I think it has less to do with their opponent and more to do with that's what the Panthers can lean on.
Last one, just because we're a statewide show here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. We want to show love to the state of North Carolina. To our folks down in the 910, the 9 Dimes. Tim, Copper drop, UNC Wilmington upsets number 1 Kansas tonight in college basketball.
If you would have said covers the spread, I might have given you a shot. Some 20-something points.
23.5.
Kansas wants to be one of us is what I think it is. Kansas, number 1 in the country. They already played UNC. They're playing UNC Wilmington. They're going to play Duke in like a week and a half, and then they're playing NC State later on as well. So they just want to be one of us. But yes, they'll beat UNC Wilmington. And I don't even know a ton about UNC Wilmington, but I have been paying attention to Kansas. They'll beat UNC Wilmington. I promised tickets, didn't I?
Yes.
We have this Thursday a ticket stop. 99.9 The Fan will be at the Cary Carolina Ale House, specifically Victoria Von Necker. From 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., she'll be out at the Cary Carolina Ale House for a Canes ticket stop, where you can win a pair of tickets every 8 minutes. Every 8 minutes, they'll give away a new pair of tickets to see the Canes and the Islanders square off on December 17th. It's a home game. So head on out to Cary Carolina Ale House this Thursday, 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. Hang out, have some food, have some drinks, win big. You must be there to claim your prize, so plan on being in attendance. And right now, just to whet your whistle, we are going to give away a pair of tickets to caller number 9 at 919-860-5326, a pair of Canes tickets to see the Canes and Islanders on December 17th. Call in right now. Caller number 9 will be the winner, 919-860-5326. Call in now, and Graham will field those calls. And while he does that, Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation, where they have a Black Friday special going on. 50% off all window styles plus 0% interest for 60 months and an additional 10% off for a Black Friday special. Here's the rub, right? Many of us have small children. I have a toddler, and you don't realize when you're just adults living in a house how much everything is going to be tested by the toddler. Right, and what I mean by that is the window screens, right? You think no one could ever possibly try to throw a toy out this window with the screen closed, or no one could ever possibly try to burrow through the window pane or whatever it is. But toddlers find a way to surprise you. So it's one of those moments where you will be thankful that you have the best material, the most durable material, the most insulated glass, the best possible installation on your windows, because if there is a point of weakness at any part of your house, yeah, your toddler's going to find it. So go ahead and give them a call. Set up a free in-home, no obligation consultation. They'll look at your windows. They'll point out how energy efficient they are or aren't. They'll point out the weaknesses where the installation or the materials might be failing, and they'll show you, which I always appreciate, right? Don't just take my word for it. I want you to show me. The number to call to set up that free, no obligation quote and also estimate, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or you can visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com.
Tim, real quickly.
Yep.
Don't mean to interrupt you again.
No, go ahead.
I just want to remind people, because it breaks my heart being the bearer of bad news when I tell a caller, they're caller number 8, and they go, oh, no. We will give away 3 pairs of tickets on tomorrow's show, 1 each hour. And then also, just go to the Carolina Ale House on Thursday.
Well, every 8 minutes from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Cary Carolina Ale House, they'll be giving away tickets. We'll have 3 pair of tickets for Canes and Islanders tomorrow on this show right here, so plenty of opportunities. Don't get discouraged. Coming up next, we have a feedback frenzy where we go to your comments from online, respond, argue, whatever the response appropriate, debate, agree. Stick around to find out. Coming up next.
Get an amazing deal on a brand new 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD Denali right now at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Get 5.9% for 84 months with up to $6,000 in savings, including $1,000 bonus cash and $5,000 Wilkinson discount. Not available with leases and some other offers. See dealer for details. GMC, we are professional grade. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers' appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Skip the Black Friday madness this year with Diamonds Direct. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling is celebrating 51 years of trusted service. And to celebrate, get a furnace tune-up for just $51. That's peace of mind heating for only $51. Visit MitchellHVAC.com. Mitchell Heating and Cooling. Quality products and services on time from a family you trust. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99 The Fan, and it is time for our Scholar Athlete of the Month. Today, we are here at Willow Springs High School, and we're here to celebrate Ansley Ayers.
She's really encouraging and will make sure that you're comfortable with whatever you're doing, and I never have a bad time when I'm around her.
Her energy is always very uplifting at practice and competitions.
Last year we won a state championship. You know, she was there in the corner again, hyping everybody up, just giving them just some words of wisdom before they hit the mat.
Ansley is an amazing athlete. She's a leader on the team and a great student. Love having her in class, and she's really good and represents the school well.
I'm really happy to represent Willow Spring. Both my parents have been there for me since day one, and my sisters too. They've always been supporting me, and I couldn't have done it without them. And my teammates are always just constantly bringing up my attitude and helping me stay positive through everything, no matter how busy or stressful it can get.
Congratulations, Ansley.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Hey, North Carolina, kick off an exciting basketball season with an offer to splash on with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. Enjoy an NBA Odds Boost token to snag even more winnings on your basketball wagers, and it's oh so simple to use. I'm Victoria Vodenecker here for BetMGM, and you just log into your BetMGM Sportsbook app and add an NBA wager to your bet slip and activate your Odds Boost token. If you win the wager that was made with the Odds Boost token, you will receive extra winnings in unrestricted bonus dollars. See, it's that simple. 3 quick steps and BetMGM's got you Euro stepping your way to even more buckets. Enjoy our Odds Boost token just for you to help you create another perfect season of basketball brilliance. Join the huddle, get off the bench, and head for the net with BetMGM Sportsbook all season long. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as unrestricted funds. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tuesday is a day for making sure that we're listening, right? Obviously, this show is forward-facing, right? It's for you, the listeners. We do our best to make an entertaining show for you each and every day, work hard at it. But on Tuesdays about this time, we go to what we call a feedback frenzy, and that is Dennis, or when Graham is filling in for Dennis, he goes to the YouTube comments and he looks for the best, right? If we are completely wrong about something and you can prove it, we want to hear it. If there's a question, something that needs clarification, we want to hear it. And Graham pulls the best comments off of our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan, brings them on air, and we respond. Graham, what do we have this week?
It's a chance for Tim Donnelly to clap back at you folks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just kidding.
Or the opposite. Or for you to clap back at me. I'm not above saying I'm wrong.
Well, we'll start with this one. This comes from the NC State football and UNC football must make bowl games discussion 5 days ago. At Ron Odell 2935 said, "Don't know about State, but Heels will make a bowl game. No worries. And Mac, I trust."
But they're definitely making a bowl game, so that comment is aged well. It is, and it, like that whole conversation that we had a handful of days ago. It's important. It matters. Making a bowl game is good for your program. Some would say necessary for your program. I've talked about this, but the transfer portal window is going to open up when bowl game practices are still going on. It's much easier to keep a player engaged and bought into your program when you're going to practice every day than it is when they are at home for the holiday break and they have every high school friend and family member and family friend saying, "Oh, you should go here, you should go here." So making a bowl game, I think, is even more important in the transfer portal era.
Up next, in regards to your thoughts on Carolina Panthers head coach Dave Canales refusing to name Bryce Young the starter, Streaky Drip 8972, which his profile picture fits his username very well. Why are you so butthurt about Canales not giving us a straight-up answer on who is starting? He's making Bryce earn his keep weekly.
A few things. First of all, I played quarterback in college. I don't pretend that makes me any kind of expert. Delaware in the NFL, not at all the same level, but it is something. Second of all, I've been around a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of them. NFL, high-level college. I'm a quarterback nerd. And if there's one thing I know about the quarterback position, it is a confidence position. I've never seen a position in any sport where it is more important to be fully confident in yourself. I've experienced it where my confidence has wavered and suddenly I'm no good. I've experienced where I see someone else slowly build their confidence up and they slowly get better. We may be seeing that with Bryce. And the reason being is because I believe playing quarterback is the hardest thing in sports. You might say like one act would be like hitting a curveball or something. But as far as the hardest position to play, I believe it's quarterback. And it's because how quickly you have to decipher everything. You have to know where all 22 guys are on the field, make a split-second decision, and get the ball out accurately. You're not throwing a baseball. You're not throwing a round ball. You're throwing this weird egg-shaped thing, and you have to snap it off perfectly. And if you are not confident, if you think your job is in jeopardy, if you think you're one interception away from getting benched, the way that manifests itself in real life is I should throw it there, but let me double-check in a quarter of a second to make sure that I know exactly where the safety is. And then that quarter of a second is the difference between completing that pass and an incompletion. And sometimes between completing that pass and an interception. So I do go out of my way to make sure that quarterbacks – I would go out of my way to make sure that quarterbacks on the field are wildly confident. By not naming him the starter, you are making it obvious, right? Making it week to week. You don't play well this week, you're not going to be the starter next week. That's not how you play good quarterback. If I was week to week with him, I would lie. You're not under oath at the podium. I would say this guy is our starter moving forward, and we're going to give him our full support. And if he plays bad, I'll bench him, and I'll say it again the next week. And if you think that's ridiculous, the Colts did it. The Colts benched Anthony Richardson and said Joe Flacco is the quarterback, and this is for the rest of the season. This is not a one-week thing. 2 weeks later, they benched Joe Flacco and went back to Anthony Richardson. Name Bryce Young the starter. What do you got?
In relation to Duke basketball, Cooper Flagg losing to Kentucky last week, Rich 4150 says, Duke find out that one and dones don't do well in modern college basketball. I see 10 losses in them this season.
10 losses? I don't think that's unrealistic. I think that's a little rich, but if they had 10 losses, my jaw wouldn't be on the floor. I've said this a few times. I think they could be 4-4. And I actually said preseason to Dennis, who was producing the show, I said, I need you to be my watchdog on this one. If they're 4-4, don't let me throw out all confidence I have in this team, because their schedule was set up in a way that they faced Kentucky, top 25 team in the country, Arizona, top 10 team in the country at the beginning of the year, Kansas, number 1 team in the country, and Auburn, a top 5 team in the country, all in their first 8 games. And when you're playing a bunch of one-and-dones, they're not going to be the same in November that they're going to be in March. So if they're worse now, they might lose those 4 games and be 4-4 with no good wins. And then they'll get better. And then they'll get better. And then Cooper Flagg will be better executing in late-game situations. And then Con Knipple will understand what to do when the shot's not falling. And then Kaman Malawash and Cooper Flagg will learn to drink more water so they don't cramp up in games. And it's all going to add up. So I don't think 10 wins would be the end of the world. I think this is a team that could finish 4th in the ACC, go on a nice little ACC tournament run, be a 3 or a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, and then be as good of a threat as any to win a national championship game. You obviously need some luck to win the whole deal, but they have the talent. They're not there yet, but they might be at the end.
When you shared your thoughts on Adam Thielen's role with the Carolina Panthers when he makes his return, Drago wanted you to know that this guy is like the Skip Bayless of Panthers football. He's controversial just to be controversial.
Well, first of all, I'm not a fan of Skip Bayless and the way he does media, so I hope that's not the case. But I will say this. Everything I say, I believe. Yeah, I mean, you may, if it's controversial, that's just because I believe something controversial. I care. I watch every game. I go back and watch every game. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying that, there's part of me that thinks, I think we could do that. Sometimes I watch like a Skip Bayless, and I think that's so easy. I know it's not because I work in media, and I know that it's hard to build an audience, and even to have, love or hate, people paying attention to you is very, very difficult. But sometimes I do think, man, how quickly could I have gotten to this point in my career if I was just saying the most outlandish thing as fast as possible? I was working for a decade in radio, over a decade, to get to sit in this chair in this market, a market that I've loved for my entire life. Sometimes I do wonder, when I was in Nebraska, if I could have just said, this coach needs to be fired tomorrow, and the quarterback should be playing basketball, and I don't know why they play games on Saturdays and not Tuesday mornings. Just say the most ridiculous things in the world, like Skip Bayless gets accused of. But I can tell you right now, when we're talking Panthers, I believe what I say. And if you want to debate it, we open up the phone lines every Monday for a Monday sound off. I'd love for you to call in and say, what I'm saying that's so outlandish. Every Tuesday we have, as we just did, a feedback frenzy. I'd love for you to comment how what I say is incorrect, and I'll have those conversations. As long as we come at each other with respect as individuals, we can say you're wrong 100 different ways. I do bring research, though, so best come correct. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was fun. That was a good one. Let's jump back into the starting 5 when we return, including reactions to NC State basketball beating Colgate last night. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Come on, Coach. I know it's tough. Just squeezed out that. Yeah, he's doing it for us. He is the giant, non-disposable straw that is stirring the drink, because you do not want Marty Necas melting down like a cardboard straw in a milkshake.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan silver dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3967 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan silver dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3967.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We have a potent cold front on the way. It was warm today, warm again tomorrow, but far cooler by Thursday. 50% chance for showers after midnight, the low around 60. 40% chance for showers tomorrow, 74.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day down 120 points at 43,268. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget to join 99.9 The Fan Thursday night at Cary Carolina Ale House. That's this Thursday night. Victoria will be there from 7 to 9 p.m. Victoria, who you know from the Adam Gold Show, every noon hour through 3 o'clock leading into this show every weekday. It's a Canes ticket stop. Victoria will be giving away a pair of tickets every 8 minutes to see the Canes and Islanders at the Lenny, the Lenovo Center, on December 17th. So head on out to the Cary Carolina Ale House Thursday night, hang out, and win big. You must be there to claim your prize. Speaking of the Carolina Ale House, this Sunday for the Panther game, at the start of the Panther game, I will be down there at I actually need to figure out which one I'm going to be at. I'll be at a Carolina Ale
various
House.
in the triangle. You'll be somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure it out. But you can catch every big game at any of the Carolina Ale Houses all season long, from college football to NFL to college hoops. They've got all your favorite sports. Grab an ice-cold pint and pull up a seat, and then I'll let you know. Stay tuned for the rest of the week. I will be at a Carolina Ale House on Sunday with appetizers and stuff to give away.
And 3 pairs of tickets for the Carolina Hurricanes and Islanders game on tomorrow's program.
That's tomorrow's show. So a lot of giveaways, a lot of stuff you need to pay attention to. We'll continue to remind you. Right now, the only reminder you need is it's time for the starting 5, starting with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
NC State men's basketball in action last night. They beat Colgate 72-49. We talked a lot about the offense for State earlier today. I'm not sure if they're playing at the pace they want to play at. I think Kevin Keats wants to run a little bit more. I'm not sure 72 points when you are shooting. Let me get the numbers here for you. 44% is good enough. I think they should be out and running, and they actually shot very poor from the 3-point line. But we need to give the NC State defense a shout out. First of all, NC State has not played anyone to write home about. They've played 4 games, 4 overmatched opponents. We're talking USC Upstate, that's South Carolina Upstate, Presbyterian, Colgate, not a murderer's row, Coastal Carolina. Now, there's still a part of you when you're a basketball team and you're playing an overmatched opponent. Sometimes the shots won't fall, right? If you're taking open threes or you're getting to the bucket and getting good looks and you're not making the shots, I mean, opponent be darned, right? Sometimes the shots aren't going to fall. But the part of you that should be slump-proof when you are the better, more talented team is the defensive end of the floor. And when you look at certain statistics, opponents' three-point shooting percentage, some of the other advanced analytics, NC State's defense has been very, very good this year, which is something you can lean on, right? That's something that like I said, it's kind of slump-proof. It's an effort thing, and they're doing a very good job of it.
I'm appreciating the fact that, unlike most Kevin Keats squads we've been used to seeing, I'm appreciating the fact that they're taking their time and they're passing the ball a lot more. That's the one thing that I will say I've noticed about this NC State roster is that they are not the typical drive down the court, stand around the top of the key, dribble to the shot clock, runs down to about 3, and jack up a three-pointer. They're actually moving the ball around the perimeter. They're working it inside a lot more, something that we're not used to seeing out of NC State a lot.
NC State is – well, it's hard because here's the part that I struggle with NC State, and it's something that we talked about earlier today. DJ Burns last year.
Unicorn.
So wildly unique. You couldn't play the way State played last year unless you have that piece right down the stretch when they were upsetting everybody. So looking at them now and saying like, wow, they do this so much better, they do this so much worse. It's hard to do that because it's not apples to apples, right? It's apples to roofing shingles.
Yes.
Like they're not even close. So it's almost like you have to recraft all of your opinions and expectations for what a Kevin Keats NC State team should be after 2 years of like some other species of basketball because they had this, left tackle playing center. Through 4 games, what we're learning about them is they're not getting up and down, putting up a lot of shots. They are near the bottom in most pace categories in the ACC. They're playing good defense, not shooting many threes, but shooting a high percentage. Maybe that's the lesson right there. This year is different, so we need to take a fourth of a season to figure out what they are, and then we can start judging them on improvement or regression. Meanwhile, you look at a team like UNC, it's like, oh, R.J. Davis. Your offense is going to be built around R.J. Davis. Guess what it was last year? Built around R.J. Davis. You're going to have Elliot Cadeau running the show as the point guard. Guess what it was last year? Elliot Cadeau for most of the time running the show. Armando Bacot was great. Don't get me wrong. Big fan of Armando Bacot. The numbers were there. The accolades were there. We've seen Armando Bacots. He's not quite as of an outlier, of a unique piece as somebody like DJ Burns. So it's different. So yeah, maybe that's the lesson there. We need to continue gathering information on NC State before we make any hard and fast decisions about whether they're moving in the right direction or not. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
I'm going to pivot here, Graham. This is not what Graham had at number 4.
Calling an audible.
Calling an audible. We'll come back to what we have there originally, though, later on in the show. That's right. I'm like a 6th grader right now. I've got a secret. You don't know it. Hopefully that'll keep everybody hanging on our every word. The Jets fired their GM today, Joe Douglas. This is like being an NFL head coach, being an NFL GM. It is brutal, and I'm pointing towards somebody like Scott Fitterer with the Panthers, somebody like Frank Reich, somebody like Matt Rule, and kind of equating them to Joe Douglas, because the number one thing Joe Douglas never got settled during his time with the Jets was the quarterback. The number one thing that hasn't been settled with the Panthers since Cam Newton left the first time, the quarterback. And if you look at what, like, there's been good decisions up and down both rosters, right? Like, drafting Christian McCaffrey, I thought that was too high. It worked out really well for the Panthers, right? Drafting Sauce Gardner or Garrett Williams or Garrett Wilson or Quinnen Williams. Like the Jets did a lot of good things under Joe Douglas. They never got the quarterback situation settled. The Panthers, I would say, have done less really, really good things, but you end up in a similar situation where you're near the bottom of the rankings. You're looking at draft picks because you never got the quarterback situation settled. It's why I tend to not worry about other things that are important until you know you have that guy. When the Panthers won against the Giants, right? They went to overtime. They forced the fumble. They scored. Yeah. It was in Germany, so everybody was watching because it was the morning game. There was no competition. Yay. And one of the questions I asked was, do you think the Panthers are even happy that they won? Because with that win, they went from like 4th pick in the draft to 9th pick in the draft. And do you think they're even happy they won? And there was a loud contingent that said, you have to win. You have to build culture. You need to get them used to winning. You're trying to reverse the effects of all of this losing, and winning so important. And I agree, it is. But I don't care if I have an outside linebacker that knows how to win if my quarterback doesn't. I don't care if I have the best offensive line if my quarterback can't win on a 2-minute drill at the end of a game when you need him to put up or shut up. Because I've seen it happen too many times. Get that guy. The Jets, I mean, look, they drafted a lot of studs. Their head coach was fired earlier this year. Their GM was fired earlier today. Why? Because they never got the quarterback situation. They even went out and traded the world and gave the contract to Aaron Rodgers. Didn't work out. Meanwhile, the Panthers, you might have Brian Burns and Derek Brown and J.C. Horn and all of these good players, but it doesn't matter if you don't get the quarterback situation settled. Every day, Dan Morgan should wake up, go to his bathroom mirror, right? Take a shower, brush his teeth, do what he does, and on that mirror, there should be a sign. Get the quarterback. That used to be the sign that he had when he was playing, right? Get the quarterback, but that was about like, going to rush the passer. Now it says get the quarterback, meaning go find your guy. If it's not Bryce, figure out who it is. Or else you'll end up like Joe Douglas and Scott Fitterer and so many other GMs in the past. That's number 4. Let's jump to number 3. Tonight, Kansas, number 1 team in the country, men's basketball, is facing off against a team from the great state of North Carolina. UNC Wilmington.
Go Hawks.
How about it? This is fascinating. So I'm looking at Kansas's schedule right now. Second game of the year, University of North Carolina. Let me do the math here. 5th game of the year, University of North Carolina, Wilmington. So that was Chapel Hill, obviously the first one. 5th game of the year, UNC Wilmington. 6th game of the year, Duke. 10th game of the year, NC State. Of the first 10 games for the number 1 team in the country, 4 of them are against teams from the state of North Carolina. And let's not pretend like Kansas is next door, right? If this were South Carolina, if this were Virginia, Kansas is a ways. So that's a really, really interesting scheduling quirk for Kansas.
I know they might not have a lot to offer when it comes to college football, but hey, basketball and conference realignment just.
Could it be Kansas really wants to be in the ACC? And I know UNC Wilmington isn't in the ACC, but they are in ACC country. Kind of reminds me of, and I use this example off air, so feel free to get on board or not. Kind of feels like when you want to date the girl, so you become friends with his sister or her sister, I guess. Like, if I'm just around you enough, you'll start to like me and you'll start to see my value. If it's just like, hey, is your brother home? No? All right. Maybe I can hang out and wait for him. What are you doing? Like, Kansas is like, oh, UNC Wilmington. All right, yeah, why don't you come on out here? Tell your friends about me. Hey, NC State. Yeah, we're good. We get along, right? Like, Duke, Carolina, look at this. Couple of blue bloods hanging out. I think Kansas would be a great addition to the ACC.
I mean, this typically happens a lot. Like, I remember NC State played Kansas last season or about 2 seasons ago. Duke as well. North Carolina every once in a while just because of the history with Roy. It's just now this year they're just going all in and like, hey, come check out our place. You want to come over to our house and hang out? I got pizza rolls.
I got pizza rolls.
We got the fog. Whatever. Just come check it out and tell us what you think.
But I'll even add this one. This year, who did Duke play early in their football season? UConn.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Last year, who did NC State open their season with in football? UConn. Who also Duke again last year played UConn. I think there's these basketball powerhouses that want to spend money on football. Kansas is spending, I think it's like $400 million on a stadium upgrades for their football team. UConn is pouring money into their football program, headlined by their coaching staff, which is not cheap, Jim Mora Jr. I think these basketball powerhouses that want to spend money in football are eyeing the ACC as a nice little spot for them, and I think it should be entertained. Now, I don't know about grant of rights, and I don't know about how you can get out of these other conferences and how difficult would it be for Kansas to move. I'm barely able to keep up with how difficult it would be to leave the ACC, let alone other conferences. But I do think there should be some secret decoder of you need to have a basketball national championship in the last 20 years to even be in these secret meetings, and then Kansas and UConn and Duke and UNC and all these teams can get together and figure out how to meet up in the ACC.
And that's just what I was thinking about. I mean, I know you can't really make the argument for football, but as far as national media coverage when it comes to college basketball, they'd have no choice but to put respect on the ACC's name.
I agree. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Jonathan Brooks making his debut for the Carolina Panthers this weekend against the Chiefs. Haha, very easy, right? We're going to talk about this matchup a ton, obviously. It's the Panthers coming out of a bye, riding a 2-game win streak, up against the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, who are, 9-1 and coming off their first loss of the year. So they'll be upset and motivated. Their defense is exceptional. The Panthers bringing Jonathan Brooks, debuting him in this game. I'm not breaking news. This isn't even a bold prediction. This is barely a prediction. It will be more hype than it will be substance. And what I mean by that is, why in the world would you trot Jonathan Brooks out there against Chris Jones and that defense and immediately give him 12 to 15 carries when this past week he had to be on the active roster? You didn't even put him out there, or this past game. I think he's in line for 5 touches. Probably 2-3 carries and 2-3 targets out of the backfield. And that's about it. Other than that, the gloriousness of Chuba Hubbard playing as well as he has played is you can trust him to be a workhorse, right? I know Miles Sanders is banged up, but if Chuba Hubbard has to be out there and get 30 carries, nobody is going to say that's a bad decision. So you have the luxury of bringing Jonathan Brooks on slowly. So I think that's going to be more flash than it is like immediate impact in the game. What, I guess you have to open up your mind to the possibility of is if he makes a play on one of those 5 touches, right? If he has a 15-yard carry, if he makes someone miss, makes an unbelievable catch, does something that in the moment makes you go, oh, all right, let's see if he can do that again. That is how he ends up with a bigger workload. That's how he ends up with more touches. But if he just has like a solid run-of-the-mill, 4 or 5 yards a carry, three carries and 1 catch, I think that's all you're going to need. What is – and you know what? I'm going to admit this. This is partially me getting old. When I was younger, and I don't know if other people have experienced this, I could watch injuries. I could, like, if I was watching a game and someone blew out their knee, I'd be like, oh, let me see the replay. Let me see how it twisted. Let me see what happened. Did it get caught? Not like in a gruesome or like weird infatuation way.
Sick in the head.
I was more just wanting to learn. Like, all right, like, is there something he could have done to prevent it? Was it the turf's fault? Nowadays, soon as somebody's down grabbing the knee, I'm looking away.
That's another thing. You're asking a lot out of Jonathan Brooks. 1, you're a rookie that you drafted high, but 2, he's coming off an ACL injury.
And that's what I'm getting at. Maybe I would think differently if this were 10 years ago and I was a younger person, but the hardest part for Jonathan Brooks is going to be trusting it, right? Doctors can tell you your knee is strong enough. They can tell you your rehab has gone well enough. They can tell you you're 100% good to go. But until you're out there in a game and you make a hard cut on that leg and you aren't thinking about it, until you do that, you're not 100%. You might be physically 100%, but mentally you aren't 100%. I tore my hamstring, and I can tell you it took years before I was running without thinking, whoa. And I didn't want to think that, right? I wanted to just go. But my brain was saying, chill. Remember what happened last time we ran this hard? So Jonathan Brooks, I think we're gonna see, hopefully, no setbacks. And if that happens, victory, right? If that happens, success. If he plays his first NFL snaps and he leaves the game as healthy as he came to the game, victory. So set expectations accordingly. Don't think he's going to run for like $120 and 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? He's not going to be Joe Mixon's level production from last night, which was off the chain. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. NC State and Duke football are coming out of their bye weeks as we speak. First of all, this year has had, and I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention in the past, more bye weeks than ever before.
Yeah, I felt like that.
Like there's bye week, 2 weeks later, bye week, you get a bye, then you play a couple games, then you get another bye, you get a bye. Because of that, I think teams are getting good at it. I mean, if you look at some of the way these just look at the triangle, the way teams have gone into bye one way and come out of the bye another. With UNC being the most obvious, but State did it, and now they have an opportunity to do it again. State coming out playing Georgia Tech.
That's no Stanford.
Georgia Tech's also coming off a bye. So if there's any kind of advantage you thought you'd have by having the extra week of preparation, they also had that extra week of preparation, that extra week to get healthy. Here's where I think we'll start with NC State and then we'll go to Duke as well. Here's where I think NC State's advantage is. NC State depends on a lot of young guys. A lot of them. And freshmen and redshirt freshmen, I would say, make the biggest leaps in play from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So if you're CJ Bailey, right, you started the year, true freshman quarterback backing up a super senior, and you're thinking, I'm going to watch, I'm going to learn. Due to a bunch of unforeseen circumstances, you were thrust into the game, and you've been making steps slowly. This past game maybe took a step back, but that's how freshmen work. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 4 steps back, 5 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like it's not linear. A bye week is a good opportunity for him to kind of regroup, evaluate, and move forward. Same is true for somebody like Noah Rogers. Same is true for somebody even like Casey Concepcion. I know he was great last year as a true freshman, but the guy's been in college for 16, 17 months. This young team has the opportunity to advance a bunch, so bye weeks should benefit them more than a veteran squad like Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has a lot of veterans. They kind of are what they are at this point. They know who they are. They know their identity, which helps them. But I don't think they're getting a ton better like I think NC State could.
You know what you're going to get out of Haynes King? We're still seeing C.J.
Especially
Bailey.
if he's healthy.
Yeah, we're still seeing C.J. Bailey develop in front of our eyes as a true freshman quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Duke coming out of the bye is a little bit different. This season is we talked about earlier. The state of North Carolina has not been very good at football in college. Actually, football if you include pro this season. Duke does have a different vibe, right? They're 7-3. They're middle of the pack in the ACC. Already bowl eligible, like overachieving against expectations. I think this season the reason why it feels good is because it's the first of the Manny Diaz era. Right, they're not competing for an ACC championship. They've lost every game. They've faced somebody higher in the ACC standings than they are. They haven't upset anybody, but they're winning the games they should be winning, and they're setting a solid foundation for what the future under Manny Diaz can be in Durham. That's what these next two games are about. They play two more bad teams, to be honest with you. Virginia Tech near the bottom of the ACC standings. Wake Forest further down even than them. That's how they end their season. If they win the games they're supposed to win, it'll be a 9-3 year. That's something you legitimately point to. Manny Diaz talks about how important Malik Murphy is to the program, their quarterback, and not just as a quarterback on the field, but in the guy that committed to Duke when it seemed like everybody was leaving, right? Mike Elko left. Aeneas Peoples, one of their best defensive players, left. Riley Leonard left. And the day of their bowl game, Manny Diaz got a commitment from Malik Murphy, who was a former big recruit, played at Texas last year, started games at Texas last year for a team that made it to the college football playoff. And Manny Diaz talks about how important it is that he committed when he did, because it gave everyone else the like it was almost like it was okay to stay or okay for another transfer to commit to Duke because everybody wasn't leaving. Somebody was actually going to Durham and chose to, that had options. So now you don't need that. You don't need someone to say it if you have 9 wins, right? If you finish this season with 2 straight wins coming out of the bye week, you go to a bowl game, you win that 10-win season. Heck, even if you don't make it to or you don't win the bowl game, 9-win season, then you don't have to convince anybody it's okay to go to Durham. 9 wins does that by yourself. Duke's playing for a lot here, and I think they're aware of it. I think they're Manny Diaz has them going in a good direction. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. I am a big fan of the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop for a few reasons. One, the timepieces are awesome, right? You walk in, you can't help but get lost window shopping and thinking about what that one might look like. And then, of course, once they come over and help you out, you can actually put it on your wrist and see what it would look like. Pilot's watch, scuba watch, or a dive watch, whatever it is, right? Whatever you're looking for. But the other thing that I really like about the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop is the knowledge. I'm a big fan when it comes to the timepieces I put on my wrist of having some history. Big fan of the Hack Watch, right? The watch that won the war. Big fan of something like the Omega Speedmaster, which was worn on the moon so many times. Big fan of Hamilton. We'll talk Hamilton brand for a second here. You walk into the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, the far right corner, which is kind of up against the window, you'll see the the Hamilton display at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. American history. It is American made. They are military inspired. Some of the most important watches in American history have been Hamilton's. So ask, right? When you show up at Fox and Bailey, if there's a watch that you're interested in, ask. You might hear something like, "Oh, that's the Hamilton Ventura. That was worn by a very, very, very famous musician in movies who shook his hips and had a very iconic sound." You know which one I'm talking about. Or you might hear, "Oh, that watch was a military watch made for pilots." There's so many cool things to learn. Fox and Bailey can help you, and obviously they can hook you up with an awesome timepiece to walk away with. So stop out at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop inside Bailey's at their Village District location and let them know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim. Right now we need some numbers game contestants. How about that? Call in right now, play the numbers game for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Experience Hendrix at DPAC on April 6th. If you're looking for something cool to do this April, call in now and play the numbers game. If you win, you get the tickets. The number to call is 919-860-5326. Same number as every other day. 919-860-5326. Call in now because the numbers game is coming up. We need 2 contestants. Talk to you in a minute.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
It's truck season at John Heister Chevrolet, and boy, do we have the sweetest Silverado deal for you. Right now, you can get that 24 Silverado 1500 you've had your eye on for up to $15,000 off with GM trade-in allowance and Costco private offer. Yes, up to $15,000 off a brand new 2024 Silverado 1500 right now at John Heister Chevrolet. See dealer for details on this sweet Silverado offer. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. Together, let's drive.
Pinch me, because Lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself this fall. Hashtag Ale Yeah.
Want to score points with your boss? Recruit RoofWorks to your building maintenance team to handle your commercial roofing needs. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We've helped hundreds of Triangle businesses with their commercial roof maintenance, repairs, and if necessary, total replacements. Our pros come to your site, assess your roofing needs, and then give you a range of options to fit your budget. And we'd love to work with you. For roof maintenance and repair, contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Yo, 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 Dad is in the house. What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN is rated as outstanding on PC Mag. Just visit NordVPN.com and discover the benefits of this all-around cybersecurity tool. It will encrypt your online traffic. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool will defend you against web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. So improve your digital privacy and protection with one simple click. Get the special Black Friday deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. As always, we have 2 contestants on the line, and they are looking to battle it out with jersey numbers, with the winner getting tickets to see Experience Hendrix this upcoming April at DPAC. We have Dave in Fuquay Arena. We have Hamilton in Clayton. So earlier today, actually, you know what? No. Know what we're going to go with. We got to go with something inspired by the Mike Tyson fight, right? We ask a question. We decide who gets to go first. We pick our favorite answer. It's you know how it goes by now if you listen to the show often. Graham is the judge. We'll start with Dave in Fuquay Varina. Dave, are you there? Dave, hello?
Hello, I'm here.
All right. The question to see who gets to go first, right? We're going to pick our favorite answer is the Mike Tyson fight wasn't really a boxing fight, right? It was a spectacle. So if there was another spectacle where maybe a tournament for athletes, non-boxers, and we were trying to find out who the best boxer was out of the non-boxers in all of history, who are you picking to win that tournament? Dave, are you there? Did we lose you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
That's a hard one.
Could be any athlete, just can't be a boxer. If like you're getting into a fist fight, who do you think is going to win?
Andre the Giant.
All right. So we're talking heavyweight, I guess, is where we're going with this one. All right, Dave, we'll see if Graham picks that answer. Hamilton and Clayton, are you there?
Yes.
All right, the same question to you. We're holding a boxing tournament, big spectacle, and we're going to get a whole bunch of athletes, non-boxers, to participate in a bracket. Who do you think is the most likely athlete to win?
Jose Canseco.
Jose Canseco. You know, I didn't know where these answers would go when I asked the question. Andre the Giant and Jose Canseco. Not where I thought it would go, but that's why we play the games. That's why they don't play the games on paper. Graham, who wins, Andre the Giant or Jose Canseco?
Dave and Fuquay must know that I'm a wrestling fan. I'm going to have to go with Andre the Giant.
All right, Andre the Giant gets the win. That means Dave gets to go first. Hamilton, don't worry. You'll have your chance to go ahead. You'll just have to wait a little bit. Dave, are you there?
Yes.
All right, the categories for you to choose from are NFL, all the Kyles. So everyone with the first name Kyle. NFL, not a QB, but threw a pass. All players that completed a pass, but not listed as quarterbacks. NBA, Knicks, that's New York Knicks of the last 20 years. Or NHL, Hurricanes only.
NFL Kyles.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons.
16.
Incorrect. Kyle Rudolph, Minnesota Vikings.
84.
Incorrect. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons.
8.
Correct. Kyle Juszczyk, San Francisco 49ers.
42.
Incorrect. Kyle Rudolph, Minnesota Vikings.
83.
Incorrect. Kyle Juszczyk, San Francisco 49ers.
44.
Correct. Kyle Bowler, Baltimore Ravens.
12.
Tried to get Kyle Bowler in there just under the wire for you. You did get 2 right. You got Kyle Pitts with number 8. You got Juszczyk with 44. Kyle Rudolph with the Vikings were number 82. You were kind of close on that one. And Kyle Bowler didn't have much time for it, but for everybody playing at home, we would have accepted number 7 or number 8 for Kyle Bowler. 2's a solid answer. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and sit on the line. That brings us back to Hamilton and Clayton. Hamilton, are you there?
Yes.
All right, you ready to pick your category?
Sure.
All right, the categories are NFL players who are not quarterbacks that have thrown a pass, NBA players, New York Knicks of the last 20 years, or NHL Hurricanes only?
NHL Hurricanes only.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. I will give you the team in this category, even though you know the team, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other category. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. You need 3 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Rod Brindamore, Carolina Hurricanes.
57.
Incorrect. Frederick Anderson, Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh. 32.
Incorrect. Rod Brindamore, Carolina Hurricanes.
37.
Incorrect. Frederick Anderson, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Incorrect. Rod Brindamore, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
You know what? I'll give it to you. Did you say 27?
Yes.
That is correct. Just because I think everybody thinks of Rod Brindamore as number 17. But 27 was right as well. Another alternate answer there. Freddie Anderson, number 31 was the number we were looking for. You didn't get shut out. You got the one, but you didn't have enough for the win. But hopefully you had some fun.
Yeah.
All right. And a little parting silver lining, a little bit of fun, right? That means that Dave in Fuquay Arena. Dave, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Awesome.
You are headed to see Experience Hendrix at the DPAC this April. So go ahead and enjoy the show.
Thank you.
All right. Stay on the line. Graham has some info he needs to get from you. And my reactions to that are, I say it all the time, but I'm telling you, it's true. It's different when the microphone is live, right? When you're on the phone and you're talking and you know everybody can hear you, it's different. Somebody that picks the category NHL Hurricanes only definitely knows Rod Brindamore's number. If you ask him on a Tuesday randomly, if you're out at the bar with your buddies and you see him, you go, hey, what was Rod Brindamore's number? Definitely would have given you 17. But throw the ticking clock, you throw it on the air, suddenly it's, oh no, 57? It's different. If you're going to talk trash to your buddies about it, I encourage you to call in. We play the numbers game every day about the same time, and I encourage you to test it with those, the live airwaves, because if not, you don't know how it feels. So I'm maybe standing up for the caller a little bit there, Hamilton and Clayton, for having that little bit of a brain freeze. But we're not giving everybody a trophy. I'm just saying it's hard. That's all I'm saying. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, the NCAA men's basketball AP poll has been updated. It's updated every week. The ACC's highest-ranked team is number 10. That's UNC. Duke is number 12. Nobody else in the ACC is ranked. Is that a point for concern? And for who is that a point for concern? Stick around.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
The Black Friday sales event is happening right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and the savings are huge. Get $13,000 off any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn, or take advantage of 0% for 72 months on a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4XE, Chrysler Pacifica 4XE, Dodge Hornet RT, or a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4XE. Awesome choices and savings, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox, my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Is your plumbing outdated or just not getting the job done? Call Newcomb & Company to see how we can help get your home operating at peak performance. Our experienced plumbers can repair or replace faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
She heard an ad for My Computer Career and jumped in feet first.
Taking exams and getting certified in a matter of just months.
Even better, you can work from anywhere.
Wherever you are. If you're on vacation, you can still clock in. I work out of my house in my pajamas.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them.
Launch a new high-demand career in IT or level up with more certifications. Build a career in record time with less money.
I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone. Indeed, it was the right move for me.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers' appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The AP poll updated men's basketball. UNC and Duke down to 10 and 12. Started the year 7 and 9. They've each lost a game to a top 25 opponent. They're down. UNC down to 10. Duke down to 12. There is, and I'm not expecting you all to be shocked. There's a bias that goes towards UNC and Duke.
No.
What?
I
know. When it comes to men's basketball, they get benefits of the doubt.
There can't be.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. So because of that, them tumbling in rankings or whatever, it doesn't matter for them. It doesn't. Because guess what? If they're on the bubble, guess who's getting in? If they're on the bubble between a 2 seed and a 3 seed, guess who's getting the 2 seed? They're getting the benefit of the doubt. They will never be overlooked. They will never feel snubbed.
There's also a reason why no matter who's playing on that specific Saturday, College game day is always going to either go to Durham or Chapel Hill when North Carolina and Duke play each other.
Their talent is obvious this year and most years. Their ability, everybody knows that they can beat anybody on any given day. Their name recognition will guarantee that they are not overlooked. So falling a bit in the AP poll doesn't affect them at all. Falling a bit in any of the polls, the net rankings, the coaches poll, doesn't affect them at all because if at any point in time they reel off like 6 straight wins, they'll shoot right back up. Where it is impactful, though, is it hurts the ACC. And the reason being, UNC and Duke will lose a few games on their conference schedule. It's rare that they run through the entire ACC unblemished. They'll get picked off by a Georgia Tech or a Pitt or a Syracuse or an NC State or a Wake Forest, and they'll storm the court. Or a Miami or a Florida State or any of these teams. Right? They're going to lose some of those. And for the good of the other teams, those wins have to be big resume-building wins. They have to be, we knocked off a top 5 team in the country style wins. As of right now, there is only one team available in the ACC schedule that would be a top 10 AP poll team when you're hunting for your resume-making win. And that's UNC, and they're barely hanging on at number 10. I've lamented. By the way, I hate this as a strategy. But the Big 12, and they did it a ton last year. We'll see if it ends up being the case this year. Their non-conference schedules were awful. They didn't go out there outside of Kansas. I should say that. Kansas has been ACC-like. Outside of Kansas, they just don't play anybody. So they all enter into their conference schedule at, 8-1 or 9-0 or 7-2, and they're all high up in the net rankings and high up in the polls, and they might not have anyone in the top 5, but they have 7 teams in the top 25. And then it just becomes pinball, right? No matter who you beat, that's a quality win because they were 9-1 coming into the game. And if they beat you, it's not a bad loss because they were 9-1 coming into the game. So they just beat each other kind of like in a round robin, and everybody just keeps rising because every loss is a good loss and every win is a big win. Meanwhile, the ACC goes out and schedules real teams. They go out and play a real non-conference. So then they enter into their conference play. Everybody's 6-4, right? Everybody's 7-3 with losses. So then you win. It's not a big win because you beat a team with 5 losses. If you lose, it's a bad loss because you lost to a team with 5 losses. And it just keeps going around like that. Duke and UNC were always and will always be the big fish, the trophy fish for everybody in the ACC. You lose to them, it's not bad. They're a top 5 team in the country. You beat them, that's the top of the resume. That's what they're going to be discussing in bracketology. Right? This is why you should be a 3 seed, because you beat UNC or you beat Duke. For the good of the other teams, they need to stay near the top of the polls. It doesn't impact them at all. It doesn't. If Duke or UNC wins the ACC championship, they're a 1 seed. They could have lost 10 games before the new year. If they go on a run and win the ACC championship, they're like at worst a 3 seed. And probably playing in like the East Regional in Charlotte, right? Like they're just going to be set up. It's everybody else that is dependent on them.
It's a team like NC State that literally had to run the table last year.
And
it hurts.
Well, they didn't get in as an at-large, so who cares, right? They were getting in regardless. But it's the pits. It's the teams that feel snubbed that need Duke and UNC to be good. Wake Forest needs Duke and UNC to be good. It truly becomes. And by the way, let me reel this back. I'm not lecturing Duke or UNC here. It's not their responsibility to make sure that like Pitt has the opportunity to win a big game. I think both Duke and UNC, as far as getting themselves ready for the postseason, are doing the right thing. They're playing a tough non-conference schedule, so all of their flaws are exposed early in the season, and they can work the entire year to fix and mitigate those flaws. Right? UNC learned something about themselves against Kansas. UNC is going to learn something about themselves in their other big games, right? Which they might lose. Right? When they play Alabama in like 2 weeks, they might lose that game. That's a rematch or it's not a rematch, but Alabama was a Final Four team last year. You might lose that game. Mark Sears is the best competition for R.J. Davis for the best shooting guard in the country.
There's also some, and we'll save that storyline for when we get closer to it. There's some underlying, I don't want to say beef, but some
100%.
Some jabbing at one another.
But my point is, for all of those reasons, they could lose that game, and that's not a bad loss. But then when Georgia Tech plays against UNC the next game after they play Alabama, if they lose to UNC, it's not like, well, you got beat by the best team in the country. It'd be, you got beat by a team that has 2 losses already. They lost to Kansas and they lost to Alabama. Right? And it's not as good. It's not as acceptable. So without I have no confidence that the committees, the rankers, or anything are going to look at the ACC with all that nuance. Right? I have no confidence there because it hasn't happened. The ACC has gotten 5 teams in the NCAA tournament each of the last, 3 years. That's outlandish to me. But it just shows they're not going to dive all the way in to the context and say, well, they played a tough non-conference schedule and it was early on, so they took their lumps early, but they're this good, and that's why this other loss, it just doesn't happen. It's all equations. It's all equations, and it's all algorithms. So I think Duke and UNC, as I said before, I'm more confident in each of them after their losses than I was before, assuming that they use them appropriately. I am a little bit worried about the rest of the ACC. If you're hoping to get 8 or 9 teams in, you really need Duke and UNC to go on a run here before conference play, or else you'll be looking at 5 teams again, making the NCAA tournament from what I consider the best basketball conference in the country. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Talking about equations, talking about running everything with an algorithm. Get your own very customized, I don't know if that you can say very there. Get your own customized and complete total retirement plan. And it's not just plugging your numbers into some algorithm. Yes, there's math involved. Don't get me wrong. Capital Financial Advisory Group knows all of the equations that you need to know, but they craft it around you. Right? It's not, let's take your income, let's take your retirement savings, let's plug them in here and do the exact same thing that we do for all of our clients. It's not how they operate. Instead, they talk to you. Get that, right? They learn about you. They find out your priorities. They find out what your lifestyle is and what lifestyle you hope to have in retirement. And they find out how you want to leave your estate to who and to where and to what, and they take all of your unique financial details that are like your fingerprint, they're special to you, and they build out a retirement plan that covers all of your needs while also guaranteeing your income not just to retirement but through retirement, and on top of that protecting you against massive losses, right? It doesn't depend on the success of the stock market in order for you to have success in retirement. That's what Capital Financial can do for you. So give them a call. Get your very own total and customized retirement plan down to your exact specific needs. And then also the great coaching that Coach Pete gives to his clients to make sure they're maximizing their income in retirement. You want to make sure you're working with someone you trust, who can help explain your situation and the solutions that will benefit you. Do not settle for a boilerplate, one-size-fits-all, plug-and-play retirement plan. Coach Pete and the fiduciary planning team at Capital Financial can help you build that plan free of charge. I know everybody likes free of charge, but you have to let them know you heard about it here. Call 800-691-3215. Say I heard about it from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. That's 800-691-3215. Or you can just text my name, Tim, to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700. That's just about going to do it for us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, but we have Overdrive coming up next. We started the show talking about Martin Necas. We'll start the show with that same conversation for Overdrive, talking about Martin Necas on an all-time heater to start the season. Or is it not a heater? Is it just the new Martin Necas? We discussed that earlier today, and we'll play it for you to start Overdrive, then get into a reaction to last night's NC State basketball game as well. Tomorrow, the Canes play. We'll preview it here on this show. There's ACC basketball tomorrow. We'll preview it here on this show. It should be a fun one. Dennis will be back. Thank you to Graham for keeping us up and running the past few days. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And on our way out, subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. See ya.